314-782-7000. That's 314-782-7000. 314-782-7000.
LakesideRenovationandDesign.com is the website. If you've got a project in your near future on the inside of your home or on the outside of your home, LakesideRenovationandDesign.com is the website to go check out all of the beautiful projects that Lakeside has been doing in the greater St. Louis region. If you have a bathroom remodel, a kitchen remodel, if you want to put James Hardy siding on the side of your house or replace your windows, this is where you go to get the very best service from the kindest people in the business. You will not be disappointed choosing Lakeside Renovation and Design. You can learn all about their Infinity from Marvin fiberglass window replacement. You can learn about their workmanship, lifetime workmanship warranty on top of each manufacturer's warranty, just part of the formula to keep them in business for over 22 years. They are the best in the area. They're the kindest, and they do it the right way, and it shows. Reach out to them online to find out more at LakesideRenovationandDesign.com.
Hey guys, this is Rachel from my good friends at Upkeep Home Warranty and Maintenance. Most warranty companies will sign you up and then hope that you never contact them again. Or when you do, they deny your claim for lack of maintenance. You don't have to worry about that with Upkeep. At Upkeep, you deal with one home manager. That is your point person who is going to take care of everything for you. Upkeep comes out and will maintain your appliances and equipment 4 times a year. You know exactly who's going to show up because they don't contract out their work. And when they come in, they're not trying to upsell you. Let's face it, you probably already have a service plan or maintenance plan for your HVAC or equipment, but now you can have all of that plus your equipment covered for about the same cost. And the best part is now you have the peace of mind knowing that your equipment is taken care of and you're saving tons of money on your utilities. Log on to upkeepstl.com, check out everything they do, and mention the DGS and get $100 off the program. That website is upkeepstl.com.
Stay connected every weekday. Mark Cox and Brian Kilmeade in the morning. Annie Frey, then Dave Glover in the afternoon. Sean Hannity every weekday evening. 97.1 FM Talk. Streaming at 971talk.com. The Annie Frey Show is sponsored by Forensic IT, the tech experts that find the root cause of your technical problems. ForensicIT.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what you're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
You need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
For 8 years, President Barack Obama and Vice President Joe Biden couldn't get it done, but takes a businessman like President Trump to come in and say, how can I do this creatively in a way that protects police officers, but also is real substantive change?
Well, that was Kayleigh McEnany talking about the president's efforts to engage in some police reform. And if you've been listening to 97.1, you just heard the president give, I don't know, maybe a 20-minute speech or so, maybe not even. It wasn't one of his longer ones on his police reform executive order. So glad that you've been with us. Thank you for joining the Annie Frey Show. I want to encourage you to download that radio.com app if you are looking for a way to listen to the Annie Frey Show or all of 97.1. You can do that by downloading the radio.com app. We're also streaming live on Facebook at the Annie Frey Show Facebook page and now on the Annie Frey YouTube page. You can search Annie Frey and you can see myself there, and we are streaming live there. So we're just kind of testing out some new things that are fun. So the president's police reform executive order in the Rose Garden ceremony. This is from Fox News. It says President Trump on Tuesday signed an executive order on law enforcement reform and said, quote, chokeholds will be banned except if an officer's life is at risk, end quote, as the nation reels from the death of George Floyd in the custody of the Minneapolis Police Department and the ensuing unrest. So the president also made comments in the Rose Garden in which he struck a conciliatory tone while also expressing strong support for police before officially signing the order. So when you were listening to the president speak, if you were either listening to him here on 97.1 where we carried it, or if you were on the Facebook, Annie Frey Show Facebook watch party that we had, then you got to hear the way the president was very adamantly supportive of good police officers, which is the vast majority of them, folks. And we know this. I think it was extremely important for the president to have a voice on this. He needs to be the leading voice when it comes to the tone, the tenor of the country. And right now, we are certainly seeing an instance where people are filling a void because there isn't a voice that is carrying. There isn't a voice that is leading. We are so incredibly far apart from one another. And we're more, generally speaking, more interested in making sure everybody knows that we are right, and we're not as willing to sit around and listen to how other people might have a different perspective on life, a different experience. And that's what we've been talking about here. I guess in the last couple weeks, I don't know how long this has been going on now, a couple weeks, that my practice, and you know, I'm not going to sit here and tell you how to handle this situation, but my practice has been to do a lot of listening. And when I suggest that's how I want to approach it, it's not because I think that I am coming from a place that is inherently wrong. I don't have a sense of guilt for existing the way that I do, just as other people shouldn't have a sense of guilt or shame for existing the way that they do. You know, I talk about raising my kids. I've got 3 kids, 10 and under. I've got a boy and 2 girls. I'm not raising my son to have some sort of guilt simply because he's male. That's insanity. I'm not doing that. And I'm not raising my daughters to think that because they're women, they are automatically some version of a victim just because of their existence as girls. The focus has to be to raise them to be kind people, to raise them to understand that you don't know anybody until you get to know somebody. And when somebody shows you their true self, believe them. I think that, you know, we are so eager, especially in the political realm, so incredibly eager to quickly assume so much about somebody, and it doesn't have to do anything necessarily with skin color or gender. All you have to do is know their political affiliation, and you will assume all sorts of things about these individual people. People who you might have known your entire life, and you find out that they are a particular political affiliation, it can change everything about the way you see somebody. It's really a sad state of community that we live in now, where you can know somebody, like family, for instance. How many of you have lost a family member, a connection or a relationship with a family member in the last, I don't know, 4 years, maybe all the way back to 2008? It goes both ways, where somebody didn't believe something politically that you believed, and that became the predominant factor in your ability to have a relationship with that person, or their ability to have a relationship with you. We got to start leading by example, if not for anything but our kids or our grandkids, where we teach our children how to respect authority, how to challenge authority when they're grown, when authority seems as though it's gotten out of the bounds of what is constitutionally limited in our country. I mean, you remember, the Constitution doesn't give you your rights. You have your rights. The Constitution limits the government's ability to infringe upon those rights. Don't ever forget that you are way more important than the person sitting on Capitol Hill or in Jefferson City or in Springfield, Illinois, or any capital around this country. We the people. That's how it starts, folks. It's we the people. And I know all this because I watched National Treasure last night with my kids.
Nice.
the theatrical classic. Having a 10-year-old son and a 7-year-old and a 4-year-old daughter, we are getting to the point, it is extremely difficult to agree on something to watch.
Sure.
Yeah.
And we are watching Marvel movies with my parents. We're in the Marvel marathon with them. This is our 3rd time through, I think. And everybody likes those movies. That's one reason why I appreciate them, because they're good for everybody. But like, if the kids my husband had a meeting last night and I was doing some work on my computer, and the kids are like, they want to separate and go watch on different TVs. The girls go to one TV and somebody else goes and lays in my bedroom and watches TV up there. But I don't know. Am I being stubborn by forcing them to try to get along and find something?
No, we split the difference too, because we've got boys and girls and they're starting to want to watch different things. But sometimes we say you all have to pick one thing and watch it together. Sometimes you can separate.
I think the separation is probably needed right now. You guys have been together for 3 months. Maybe everyone just needs a little breath. And mom and dad need a breath too.
I don't like, Katie, you've got, or maybe Ryan, I don't know who has a story about, I didn't read the whole sentence here. New study says American parents want kids to put down phones and tablets after months of lockdown. I am super anti-digital device for my kids. And this is coming from somebody who myself am, especially like right now, I am surrounded, like all the way around me, I have screens. Yeah. And I enjoy technology. I use it. I made my career in radio by being the digital brand manager of 97.1. And I loved doing that. I love technology, but I don't know why. I just don't want my kids. They turn into zombies. I hate it. And then they, when it comes to watching shows, Fuller House they've discovered Fuller House. My husband walked in the kitchen. He goes, I hate that show. And I'm like, why? It's completely harmless. It's like okay for them to be watching Fuller House. And I'm like, you don't have to watch it. You don't have to sit there and take it in. It's just the laugh track and it's the corniness. They might actually, do they film in front? I feel like maybe they film in front of a real audience.
They could. I
think maybe they have. I'd have to look before I slam them for the canned reactions. But it reminds me of being a kid, where you could have a whole life-altering situation wrap up in 22 minutes.
And I'm sure whenever, with kids with technology, whenever they become dependent, or maybe addicted might be the wrong word, but whenever they really, really start to discover that they love technology, whenever you try to pry them away from it, I'm sure they're irritable and maybe a little sassy. Not when specific kids, but just kids in general.
When my kids have access to technology, all they think about is the next time they're going to get to have access to the technology. So we have allowed our kids to use Facebook Messenger because they have not been around other kids for months and months. This is not normal. This is not healthy. This is not like a traditional circumstance at all. And, they needed something. They needed some socialization. I understand that they need to, like, if they were in school right now, they would be having social interactions that weren't supervised by their mom or their dad. So to be able to have a Facebook Messenger chat or a voice call, but I'm like, who are these people? Who are you talking to? How long are you talking to them? Because it just goes south so fast. My kids were playing with another little kid, and there was a computer game that they were playing, and it was a quiz, and it was just going through, and it was all cartoony and everything. And it was just like something fun to do, quizzes that you could take. And one of the things that came across is such and such a porn actor. That was in the middle of this. Like, it was completely harmless, and then it wasn't, which means that the whole thing has been infiltrated by creeps. And to the parents out there who I am sure are super on this, to the grandparents who are listening right now, YouTube is not safe. YouTube is not safe for children. My kids are not allowed to ever watch a YouTube video unless I'm the one or my husband is the one who's playing it for them. Or if, like they're at grandma and grandpa's house and they're like, oh, look at this YouTube thing, which is not something grandparents traditionally are doing.
Yeah.
But I mean, there are kids channels that are put together, and you get 3 recommended videos into this stream of what's being offered up to these kids on this channel. And it's terrible. I mean, it is like they stick things into cartoons and kids don't know it's coming. And then they don't know that they're looking at, and it's not the kid's fault if they're being permitted to watch these things. And it's a very, very sad situation. So the big news of the day is the executive order from the president about police reform. He's making it unlawful to employ a chokehold unless the officer's life is at risk, among some other things, some funding from some federal funding, some emphasis on co-responders, which is to send out social workers into situations where potentially when you are like if you're policing and you come across a homeless person or maybe somebody who has a substance abuse problem, they can send, and it's like a non-violent situation, they can send a social worker along that can actually get this person some real help after the police situation is taken care of. So I was very happy to hear that the president spoke out on this. Of course, we will watch the reaction to it here in the next hour or two as people are combing through the executive order that was just signed. And so we will continue to update you on that throughout the course of the day. We'll also talk to Mark Cox about it at 1:25. Mark Cox on the Mark Cox Morning Show every weekday here, 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. But when we come back, we're going to talk to Kevin Wheeler. This kind of developed out of the show yesterday, and Kevin's our go-to guy when it comes to talking baseball. And I want to know what is actually taking place of how is this baseball argument facilitating itself? Is it going to resolve itself? And does he think one side is not playing fair over the other? Kevin Wheeler is going to join us when we come back to break all of that down. Stream us live, watch us live on Facebook, at the Annie Frey Show Facebook page. On YouTube, search Annie Frey on YouTube, and you can see us streaming live there, and subscribe to the YouTube page. And you can also listen to us at radio.com. You can even rewind that feature on radio.com. It's pretty cool. All right, we'll be back in just a minute with Kevin Wheeler. Don't go anywhere.
Some of them want to use you. Some of them want to get used by you. Some of them want to abuse you. Some of them want to be abused.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Hey guys, Glover here. If you are nearing retirement or already retired, call Thomas Helbig with the Retirement Advisory Group at 314-993-9494. He'll show you how to participate in the market gains without ever losing a penny. Thomas is the official financial advisor of the DGS.
Okay, so maybe we're new to home improvement.
But we're determined.
So when it came to finding the perfect floor at the perfect price, our contractor gave us an insider tip. And whoa! At Floor & Decor, we shop the same incredible selection as real-life designers and contractors.
And I appreciated the budget-friendly prices.
Now, thanks to Floor & Decor, we're unstoppable.
Oh yeah, we found where the pros go.
Explore Floor & Decor in person or online at flooranddecor.com.
My Slim 180 is where I have gone to lose weight. It's where my husband went as well. And we are feeling pretty good about ourselves because we are done right now with the medically supervised HCG rapid weight loss program. And together we have lost over 43 pounds. It's been pretty amazing. And like I said, I'm pretty proud of it. If you were thinking it's time to take the weight off, if you got 20 pounds to lose, if you got 50, if you've got 10, and maybe you've tried everything, maybe you've never even tried before, I want you to call 888-754-6111. That's 888-754-6111. Mention that you heard about this on the Annie Frey Show and say, what did she do to lose the weight? They'll tell you all about it. And I've done this with them twice. Let's see, 2 or 3 times now over the course of time. I've used it to help lose baby weight. I've used it to lose the last couple 10 pounds or so that needed to go. And I am at the lowest weight that I have been in my adult life post kids. It's wonderful. I'm proud of myself, and I'd be proud of you too. Just give them a call and see what they can do for you. 888-754-6111, online at myslim180.com.
This is Lisa Stofan. Heard the Mark Patrick weight loss hypnosis hype? Well, I attended because my father stopped smoking. I lost 70 pounds and my friend lost 20 pounds in the first 2 months.
Wow, what are you waiting for? Because of coronavirus, seminar now online, live with America's hypnotist Mark Patrick in the comfort and safety of your living room. Live online seminar for the greater St. Louis area will be held live Saturday, June 20th. Register now, only $49.99 guaranteed at markpatrickseminars.com.
I'm Dr. Nick Barnes at Health From Within Family Chiropractic in Rock Hill. At Health From Within, our mission is to transform the way you manage your health by bringing you the truth about health and healing. We use proven techniques to remove interference in the nervous system and maximize health naturally, without drugs or surgery. Connect with me at healthfromwithinstl.com And join me for Maximize Living on this station every Sunday at 8 a.m. or download the Maximize Living podcast, Health from Within, STL.com.
Enjoy a more inspired drive in a new Mazda from all three Bomarito Mazda locations. We are here for you at Bomarito, and we'll work with you to find your perfect Mazda. Plus, every new Mazda has the Bomarito nationwide warranty, 10 years, 200,000 miles. Lease a 2020 Mazda CX-5 with zero down for $319 per month, and Bomarito will make your first payment. It's at all three Bomarito Mazda locations.
You've been lied to. Lied to by corrupt Washington politicians and the Wall Street propaganda machine. Hi, I'm Inc. magazine bestselling author Brett Kitchen, and I want to give you a free copy of my brand new book, Wealth Beyond Wall Street, because we all know another market crash could be right around the corner. After losing 35% in my IRA in the crash years ago, I said enough. And since then, I discovered a way to grow money potentially double digits, reduce taxes dramatically, and also have my money protected when the next stock market crash hits. When the next market crash hits, you lose nothing. Call Wealth Beyond Wall Street now to get your free copy and talk with a specialist to discover this little-known strategy to get potential double-digit growth during good years and never lose when the next stock market crash hits, all while building a tax-advantaged retirement. Call 1-800-582-1717 to discover this asset that people like Walt Disney and JCPenney use to grow wealthy. Plus, when you call right now, you'll get the free audiobook, and we'll even cover shipping and handling. No credit card required. Call 1-800-582-1717, 1-800-582-1717. That's 1-800-582-1717.
You're making your voice heard, and St. Louis is listening.
It's really a pleasure listening because it's very well grounded.
It's the place for ideas.
Intelligent and articulate and informed.
97.1 FM Talk.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Thanks for joining us today. It's a Tuesday, and we're grateful that you're here. I want to get straight to our guest. Kevin Wheeler is on the phone with us, and Kevin is a KMOX sports reporter, and we are glad to bring him onto the show today to talk to us a little bit about what in the heck is going on in baseball. Is anything going on in baseball? Are we going to see a baseball game in 2020? Kevin, all of St. Louis is waiting to see, along with the rest of the country, what's going to happen here. You got any insight for us?
Well, I've been saying all along that we're going to see baseball, but they're not making it look very easy, are they? I mean, God,
No.
could two sides? I mean, could they maybe get out of their own way for a little bit and let the game just kind of take over? I mean, it's unbelievable the nonsense going back and forth.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. And I will say, as somebody who all I care about, and I mostly this is a political show that I do, or a news talk show. I deal with arguing and disputing and fighting. That if that's not happening, I don't have a job. And when it comes to baseball, I just want baseball. Just want them to get it done. I don't need to know the dirty details. But it seems as though every time I peek behind the curtain to see if we're closer, it seems like we're a little bit further away from actually getting the players onto the field and watching a baseball game again.
Yeah, I think the worst mistake both of these two sides have made here has been they've taken all this stuff public. Like, what's the point? And look, I got to blame the owners first. I mean, they're the ones that initially started putting stuff out there that they knew would get a bad reaction from the players. And whether, their intent is to, quote, break the union, I don't know. But I know that they've had the advantage over the last handful of years. The collective bargaining agreement that was agreed upon in 2016 was heavily in favor of the owners. They have made so much extra money these last few years. And I know, it's hard to define it because they don't have to put their numbers out there. They don't have to tell us what they make. We know every penny that a player makes. So you can see why fans first looked at it and say, well, these guys are making $20 or $30 million. Yeah, but if the players are being paid that, what do you think owners are taking home? Because these are billionaires, man. They're smart people. They're incredibly good businessmen. They're not paying other people that unless they're taking home at least that much, if not more. And what's troubling is they can't even find the common ground to settle on half a year. Unfortunately, this is all because there's the new CBA talks coming up in another. Well, I mean, they're probably basically started now, but they weren't scheduled to start up for another year or so. And the players know they got taken out behind the woodshed in the last one, and now they're going to try to gain back some ground, and the owners want to take back more of the ground because they've been loving life here these last few years.
Yeah, I think that, the phrase that I guess is kind of the tagline for these negotiations right now is millionaires arguing with billionaires. It's kind of hard for people who are looking for a reprieve from the heaviness that is existing in our world right now to peek over to that America's favorite pastime and see all this taking place. But my understanding is that the baseball players wanted to play more games because they were going to get paid a prorated amount. Is that correct? That they wanted to pay a larger play a longer schedule so that they could make more of their money. And the owners were saying, no, we want to play a shorter schedule. Seems like to me, the more time that passes here, the shorter the schedule just naturally gets.
Yeah, they're going to end up settling on something that's well below what initially everybody had hoped for. I think the union originally asked for like 114 games, and like that's just not going to happen. But when you think about negotiations, right, and we've all negotiated something, you never start with your best offer. You know, or with the best offer. You start with your best case senorio. Right. So each side does that, and then you work your way towards some kind of middle ground. Whether it's split exactly down the middle or not is kind of depends on the circumstance. But you move towards each other, which is the problem that they've had here. The players' argument is that if they don't get their full prorated salaries, then what they're essentially agreeing to is a system, because the owners initially wanted this to be a revenue share. It's funny, though, that the only time they offer a revenue share is when things are really bad. They didn't offer that when things are really good. They want to offer 50-50 when things are bad, but the players only made 38% of total revenue last year. So they weren't offering 50-50 last year. And that's why you hear people upset. Like, the players are upset, like, okay, so you want us to be partners when things are bad, but we're not partners when things are good. So you have this initial distrust, and then you start tacking on, the things that businessmen do, right? I mean, they don't want to take any kind of a loss. And sometimes I get a little frustrated, Annie, at this concept of losing money as opposed to not making money, right? I mean, money not made is not the same thing as money taken out of your bank account. Like, that's different. Like, not bringing it in is not the same as it going out the door. And I think that sometimes, the owners will look at their projections, and if they're not going to meet projections, they say we're losing money. And the players are like, no, that's not really 100% true. What's losing money is, the money going out the door and not getting anything in return. And unfortunately, you've got this massive battle that has turned into more than just getting baseball on the field. It's really the first battle in the war over the collective bargaining agreement that's coming up next year.
Playing word gymnastics with money sounds a lot like politics, Kevin Wheeler.
Yeah. That's why baseball fans are mad.
Yeah, exactly.
Fans, if they want their politics, they want their politics in their politics. They don't want their politics in their sports.
Yeah, that's why you need baseball.
Kevin, you probably saw the same thing. Trevor Bauer unleashed a tweet storm about here is what the owners are trying to do to the players. I thought it was a very interesting breakdown of the strategy, which you kind of just mentioned. But over the weekend, of course, the MLB PA said, just tell us when and where. Is it that simple? Are they basically just saying, okay, we're done negotiating, we'll do whatever you want? Or is that kind of a PR thing too?
Well, that's based on the March 26th agreement that means that they'll get their prorated salary. So what they're saying now is we're done arguing about the length of the season. If you want to impose the shortened season and pay us our full prorated salary, so in other words, our game-by-game rate based on what we would have gotten if we were getting our full salary, if you're going to pay us our full game-by-game rate, just go ahead, because the March 26th agreement had in there that MLB could impose a schedule of any length so long as it included the prorated salaries. So as long as the players were getting 100% of their game-by-game earnings. And that's what the player said. Like, fine, you guys go ahead. You just pick the number, tell us what time, when we need to report, and we'll go. It was kind of their way of saying, we're done talking about this because you're not being reasonable. And, if you look at some of the ownership offers, they've not really been moving very much. I mean, it's funny because the running joke amongst baseball people is, the first offer was, how about $20? And then the second offer was, well, how about two $10 bills? And then the third offer was like, how about $4 or $5 bills? That's got to be good enough, right? Like, that's the running joke amongst the baseball media, that these offers were so similar in the total amount given. There were some differences in how it was going to be spread out, but it was very much the same offer over and over and over. So the players have just said, fine, I mean, this is ridiculous. Go ahead and do it. Now, keep in mind, the players also have the right to file a grievance over how all this goes. And I think that's the holdup that we got to yesterday. That when the players finally said, hey, just go ahead and do you guys. You guys set the schedule, tell us when to show up. Now the hesitation on the ownership side is, well, if we do this, they might file a grievance saying that we didn't negotiate in good faith on the length on playing the maximum number of games possible, and they could be asking for damages in that grievance. So now you have another level of all of this to consider, and who knows, hopefully that pressure puts them back in a room together where they do actually compromise on something. But that if the players would waive their right to file a grievance, I think you'd probably hear an announcement on the schedule, the number of games tomorrow. I think they probably move that quickly.
We're speaking with Kevin Wheeler, KMOX sports reporter. Kevin, when I think about the money that is coming in versus the money being lost, that conversation that you were bringing up there, the amount, if games are going to be played and you're not going to have butts in the seats and hot dogs being eaten and beers being drank during the game, it's going to look different. Money is going to come in differently. Is what the owners or is what the players are willing to consider taking into consideration that fact that the money coming in for whatever a season looks like now is going to be very different than what it would have been in a normal circumstance per game?
Yeah, they clearly acknowledge that, and that they believe that was included in the conversation back in March in the agreement. That the way that they are arguing that the owners agreed to the prorated salary without having the condition of whether or not fans were going to be there. Yeah, certainly it's going to affect income, but it's going to affect every team a little differently. Without fans, that's a big hit for the Cardinals, for example. Yeah. I mean, they usually are, one of the 2 or 3 highest drawing teams, and they don't have the same kind of local TV deal that the Yankees have or the Dodgers, right? I mean, some of these teams, this is where I would like to see owners helping fellow owners, right? Because attendance, like people, butts in seats, doesn't make any money for the Marlins or the Rays. They don't draw anything. They get almost all of their money from TV. So they would be less affected by this than, say, the Cardinals, who have a much higher percentage of their revenue each year based on tickets sold. Now, the Yankees and the Dodgers sell a lot of tickets, but their TV deals are so massive. I mean, the Yankees are something along the lines of $700 million a year in revenue, and their payroll's $200 million. That's $500 million left over. That's a lot of money, even if you have to cover all the other things like insurance and expenses and all of that. And what I'd like to see is a setup right now for 2020, not forever, but for 2020, where owners help each other out before they ask the players to do it. Their actual partners are the 30 owners. The partners for the Cardinals and the DeWitt family are the Yankees and the Dodgers and the Cubs.
Yeah,
and if those teams are hurting,
play these games for sure. They need each
other. That's exactly right. And I would like to see more of that, but the big market teams fight that. They don't want to give more of their money to their competitors, even in a one-year setting. So it's kind of like the whole thing is just nonsensical. If we could just get 2 groups of people to be rational actors here. And the other part I don't understand about this from the owner's perspective is, even if they give in on this, we are talking, now I know this is going to sound like a lot of money to like us normal people, but we're talking about differences in a few $100 million. Okay, let's call it $500 million, just to be simple and have a round number. We're talking about a difference between $500 million in the amount of time that we have left to play, butts in seats versus no butts in seats. This is a business that makes $11 billion a year now. They made $11 billion last year, and that's just on what we can measure. That doesn't count anything that we can't measure. It doesn't count business interests around the stadium. Like, it wouldn't count Ballpark Village, for example, here, or it wouldn't count the rooftops at Wrigley as an example. It doesn't account for all of the extra things that teams make money off of that aren't directly related to baseball. So if you're the owners and you can take the hit right now, maybe ask the bigger teams to suffer some of that hit with the smaller teams that are going to struggle, they can just make this back by not bidding as much on free agents in the next few years. They can just make it back in a matter of 2 or 3 years of not giving out $300 million contracts. And the players won't like it, but there's nothing they can do about it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of where I'm a little confused. It's like the owners don't even want to take a short-term hit. They don't want to take any hit at all, even though they've been raking in the money these last handful of years. I mean, they've made, I try to remember this exact total, but I believe over the last, I'll say it's the last 10 years, Major League Baseball has generated like $85 billion in revenue. I mean, that's a pretty good decade right there.
Yeah.
And a lot of owners have made a lot of money, but now we get to the point where it's time to sacrifice. And again, the players aren't sacrificing either. I'm not trying to make this one side or the other. They're both involved. But when I look at franchise values, using the Cardinals as an example, the Cardinals were purchased for $150 million. Then they sold the parking garages for half of that, roughly. So really, the DeWitt family, the ownership group, was in on this for about $75 million. The franchise, if you were to try to sell it today, would sell for $2 billion plus, probably $2.5 billion. And while that's not cash in hand, that's not money in your bank, that is the value of the business. And if anybody's unhappy with the way the business is going, they could sell right now and get a fat profit. I mean, the Mets are being told are potentially selling. Their current ownership group is thinking about selling. They have at least two groups that are looking at $2.5 to $3 billion for the Mets. So if you're not happy with the business of it, I mean, you can sell and make a huge profit based on what you purchased the team for.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this ends up playing out, because I know that most of the people who are baseball fans, and we sure have a lot of them here in our audience, just want to see baseball being played.
Yeah.
And it's hard to sympathize with one side or the other when so many other people are out of work right now. But I really believe that we as a country need baseball now more than we ever have before. So I'm looking forward to when they can come together and make a deal.
For sure. And the truth is, let's be honest, no baseball fans want to hear me talking about money and numbers.
No.
The only numbers they want to hear me talking about are home runs and batting average and on-base percentage.
Do you have a prediction on when baseball will start, if it does?
Yeah, I think it'll be like mid-July, second, third week of July. Call it the 15th, maybe the 20th, but something along those lines. And I think it's going to end up being somewhere close to 70 games, somewhere in the maybe upper 60s.
All right. Well, we'll hold you to that. We'll have you back as this continues to develop, and you can keep us updated. Kevin, thank you for the time today. Good to talk to you. Yep. We'll talk to you soon.
Anytime. Take care.
All right. You too. Kevin Wheeler, KMOX sports reporter, joining us here to update us on the negotiations. I mean, it is. I was saying this yesterday, like, no negotiation is pretty. This isn't pretty. Mm-hmm. This is really ugly. And I've been in some negotiations in my life, and it stresses me out. And, the numbers that I've negotiated are just a little south of that. Get my high voice back. just like not
different.
Yeah. I mean, like, there's like a zero. It's at the front. Yeah. What do you call those significant numbers? My zeros are not significant. All right. Let's take a quick break. Let's get your reaction to the president's executive order. We can talk about baseball if you want to weigh in on owners versus players, or if you don't care and you just want to see baseball, let them work it out. That's kind of where I am. Like, y'all are big boys and girls making these negotiations happen. Take care of it. And like Kevin said, they probably just shouldn't have drugged this out into the open. That might have been better for baseball if and when it does come back. Quick break. We'll be back in a minute. Don't go anywhere.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. Talk lines are open now at 314-241-9797 or 866-455-9797.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Studio. Air Comfort Service is celebrating over 50 years of residential and commercial service, maintenance, and installation of heating and cooling systems. Get in your comfort zone. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
It's the 20th anniversary of 97.1, and we're celebrating 20 years of great Dave Glover Show moments with Michael's Flooring Outlet.
Our president, a lady named Wheezy, said, "You're my guy that does all the live endorsements." Convinced me to go to Michael's Flooring. So I think what she wanted was this dramatic thing where I'm like, okay, and literally do it live. But you guys know that's not me.
No.
And it sounded something like this. Oh, I just try to put myself in the position of people in their car and if they need flooring. And Mike, he's just a guy. He's just a guy.
She grabs her by the shoulders.
And
he's just a guy, Weezy.
DGS 20.
Listen. Mike of Michael's Flooring Outlet. Proud to be Dave's first live endorsement and being part of so many sweet memories for the past 20 years. Thank you again, St. Louis and the Dave Glover Show. 97.1. Rock on. Check me out. IGotFloored.com.
If you're like me, you've been spending a lot of time at home. You may be noticing the scuffs and faded colors on your walls, the cracked, peeling paint on the outside of your home. Protect your home investment with quality painting from CertaPro Painters. They make your experience worry-free, starting with a free on-site or remote estimate. It's your choice. I did one from the comfort of my own home. It's quick, safe, and easy. You can trust them to get the job done right. Schedule your free estimate today at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C.
Getting a home loan should be a fun experience. Whether you're refinancing to lower your monthly payment and get some cash out, or you're buying the home of your dreams, it's an exciting time. Mortgage interest rates are sitting near all-time lows, and we are locking loans in the twos. At the Home Loan Expert office, we can close your loan in as little as 2 weeks, and you'll skip 2 full months of payments. Start saving now with our 5-minute loan approval, only available at thehomeloanexpert.com. The Home Loan Expert LLC, NMLS number 1326241.
Hey guys, Glover here from my friends at ARCA, Assisted Recovery Centers of America. So alcohol and opioid addiction is a huge problem in America, as you know. And with the coronavirus, it's become even worse. Just know that there is help right here in our community. Call ARCA at 314-645-6840 or visit arcamidwest.com. Everything is professional. Everything is compassionate and everything is private. That's arcamidwest.com for help.
Do you hear that? It's the final days of the amazing hail sale at St. Charles Hyundai, Missouri's #1 volume Hyundai dealer, and the only Hyundai dealer affected by our minor hailstorm.
I passed 2 other Hyundai dealerships. It was worth it.
Plus, every new Hyundai is backed by America's best 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty and owner assurance. Hurry while inventory lasts. Shop new Tucsons online at stcharleshyundai.com. We're St. Charles Hyundai. We make amazing happen. For new Hyundai vehicle sales 2019.
Springtime in St. Louis, and if you hate to paint, do what your neighbor Mr. Rob Miller from Harvesttown Auto Body in St. Peters did. He called Rhino Shield. Rob, what was the thought process for going with Rhino Shield as a business owner?
My family's business is over 10,000 square feet, and it did not have the curb appeal I wanted.
Rob, tell everyone how the experience was with Rhino Shield from start to finish.
The process that I liked was when you came out, you gave me all of these options that would fit my building. Our building was really faded. I don't want to have to paint my building again. 25 years is a long time to not have to worry about the outside maintenance of your building as far as paint. That's a no-brainer. That's why Rhino Shield worked for me.
Are your neighbors jealous?
I would be if I was them.
Thanks, Rob. Now it's time to call 877-25-RHINO. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com. Genius.
Don't paint, don't Rhino. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Hey Siri, play 97.1 FM Talk. It's that easy. Catch all your favorite shows. Mark Cox, Brian Kilmeade, Annie Frey, Dave Glover, Sean Hannity at radio.com.
Don't think I've ever seen your kind of pretty. Wandering around this midnight madhouse city. You got a look that says you got it all together. So if you don't mind, I'd like to know you better. Take me the long way around your town.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Thank you for joining us. We just had Kevin Wheeler on the phone with us and talked a little bit about the baseball situation. I need baseball in my life so incredibly badly right now. I need the daily or near daily exhale from whatever else is on the television, because I guess my television always finds its way to news. I need to stop that, I guess. But it's nonstop. It doesn't end. It never ends. There's always something else. And this in the midst of there being legitimately important things that need to be talked about. We do need to be able to know what's going on in our world. It just becomes very heavy to take in all the time. So I took a quick little vacation last week. I did feel very refreshed about it. I'm happy to be back here and talking about these important issues, like the president signing the police reform executive order in the Rose Garden earlier this morning. It was interesting to hear him talk about, at the same time, being able to talk about supporting the police and also providing some reforms for national policing across the country. Let's see if this is going to play here. Of course it's not. When he was talking about chokeholds, that was something that I remember hearing from pundit to pundit to pundit to pundit saying chokeholds we need to not be doing this. This is an obvious thing. We need to not be engaging in this kind of behavior. And he did react to that. He said chokeholds will be banned except if an officer's life is at risk. So essentially, if there's a scenario that comes up where an officer is fighting for their life, they're not going to limit how you protect your own life, but they are going to limit how they employ chokeholds in the midst of regular policing. Let's see if this works here. Sorry about this. This is not usual.
Reducing crime and raising standards are not opposite goals. They are not mutually exclusive. They work together. They all work together. That is why today I'm signing an executive order encouraging police departments nationwide to adopt the highest professional standards to serve their communities. These standards will be as high and as strong as there is on earth. The vast majority of police officers are selfless and courageous public servants. They are great men and women. When others run away from danger, police run straight into harm's way, often putting their lives at stake to protect someone who they don't know or never even met.
So that's part of what he said regarding the executive order. And he has gone through several different aspects of this effort. And not once did he go into some sort of criticism of police officers, because it's not something that is blanket. It's not something that is, we don't have a police problem. We have a human problem with people who are wearing badges. You know, when we talk about gun crime, when we talk about guns in the political realm, normally the conversation is around gun control. We hear from a political party, the Democrats, the leftists, that the gun is the problem and that the gun needs to be removed from the scenario, that the gun is something that is bad and it needs to be addressed. And as a responsible community, as a responsible government, what we would do is we would remove guns from people's hands. That's basically what Democrats want to do. They tell you, what do you need? And then they fill in the blank here. What do you need this for? Well, I shouldn't have to explain to you. I don't have to defend what I need, you know, when it comes to protecting my family. I have a constitutional amendment that says that it shall not be infringed. Is there gray area on that? There sure seems to be a lot of it, but the conversation around gun control is always around the gun. When violence happens and a police officer is involved, then it becomes about the police officer. What if it's always about a person who is engaging a usage of that weapon that has a bad heart, that is taking into account bad responses, poor training, bad intent? What if it is always the person who is using that inanimate object to do something that is bad? You know, I'm not saying that it's not the police officer, was it Chauvin?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that he, I'm not trying to make the point here that, you know, somehow or another the police officer should be off the hook. I'm actually saying consistently with where I've been on gun control this entire time is that once again, the person with the gun needs to be the one who's on the hook for what was done with the gun. Nobody is talking about this being a gun crime. They're talking about it being, politically speaking, they're talking about it being a police officer crime. We have heard people say that they want to be able to take away lethal force from police officers. Well, fat chance getting people who are going out there and running into crime scenes that are potentially still active without the opportunity to protect their own lives. I know a lot of spouses across the country who would be like, yeah, that's not happening. You can go be a librarian. Speaking of, Katie, did you return your library books? Katie!
Is that a yes? I assume that's a
Crime
yes.
and punishment.
They've been calling me nonstop too. I just keep forgetting. It's not really by my house or on my way home from work, so I just totally forget.
It's just it's weird to me that these situations that absolutely need to be addressed. And when you look at what the president says here at the beginning about how two things can be true at the same time, that it's not as if policing, having higher standards with policing and supporting our police officers have to be two completely separate conversations. We should be able to do them we should be able to do that at the same time. Mm-hmm. We should be able to hold all of our public servants to a higher standard. And if we're not going to, then what in the world are we doing? So being able to challenge the standards that we have right now is a good thing. We should always be challenging the standards. We should always be looking to have high standards, but you cannot berate the people, the many, many good men and women who give themselves to this profession. And you can't take away their ability to protect themselves. You just can't do it. Thank you for listening today. We're going to come back in the next hour. Mark Cox is going to join us. I'm going to ask him about the Christopher Columbus statue that was removed from a park here in St. Louis this morning. I think it was like at 7 a.m. that has been removed. And I'm going to ask him what he thinks about that. I have an evolved opinion on some of this. And it actually came about because of Roy Blunt. So I'll talk to Mark Cox about that in the next hour. Keep streaming us live at Facebook and at YouTube. Search Annie Frey on YouTube. Go subscribe. We'll be back in a minute.
Hey guys, Glover here from my very good friends at ThrottleNet. So if you ever listen to one of these recorded ads, listen to this one. A company can expect 232 targeted cyber attacks per year that results in 30 breaches. 24% of businesses hit with malware took a week or more to regain access to their data. Many, many businesses just flat go under. They are targeting small towns. They are targeting dentist offices. They are targeting big businesses. They're targeting government. You're going to get hit. Let me tell you about ThrottleNet. ThrottleNet has saved their clients more than $2.6 million in ransom last year alone. And get this. ThrottleNet clients have never paid a dime in ransomware. Let me say that again. They've never paid a dime because they are protected. No contracts. Leave anytime you want. You have to check these guys out. You'll find them at throttlenet.com to protect your business, to protect everything you have. Go to throttlenet.com.
Thomas Helbig, the Retirement Advisory Group, is inviting you out to another Protecting Your Retirement educational event. Super exciting to have these started up again, and we want to see you. And by we, I mean myself. Dave Glover and Mark Cox are going to be there on Thursday, June 25th at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30 p.m. That's Thursday, June 25th at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30 p.m. Here's how you reserve your spot. Give them a call at 855-755-1555. That's 855-755-1555. You can reserve your seat there. Also online at retirementkey.com. If you are somebody who is nearing retirement, 55 or older, and you want to make sure that all the money that you've worked hard to save is going to be there to work hard for you in retirement, you absolutely need to be at this event. Plus, I want to get to see you. They're taking all the necessary precautions, following the CDC guidelines to keep everyone safe and healthy. They even have the biggest room available to keep social distancing in play. So I look forward to seeing you again, June 25th at 6:30 a.m. at the Frontenac Hilton, and we're going to have a great time. 855-755-1555 to reserve your seat online at retirementkey.com.
Join Mark Patrick seminars and lose the weight or stop smoking guaranteed. Because of coronavirus, seminar now online live with America's hypnotist Mark Patrick. Live online seminar for the greater St. Louis area will be held Saturday, June 20th. Register now, only $49.99 guaranteed at markpatrickseminars.com.
Take a moment and rate your lifestyle on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 is a life that's nothing like the life you were promised after getting good grades, a college degree, and a good job in corporate America. 10 is the life of your dreams. If you answered anything less than a 10, tune into the Del Walmsley Radio Show. Del, self-made millionaire and founder of Lifestyles Unlimited, will show you how to live the life of your dreams and pay for it with passive income.
Tune in to the Del Walmsley Show, where the hype ends and the help begins. Weeknights at 7 on 97.1 FM Talk.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. KFTK FM Florissant, K254CR St. Louis, driven by the Bommarito Automotive Group, 97.1 FM Talk, a radio.com station.
The president calls for change. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News, hoping to spur police reform across the country.
Today, I'm signing an executive order encouraging police departments nationwide to adopt the highest professional standards to serve their communities.
That Rose Garden ceremony held after a meeting with multiple families who've lost loved ones. The president says Justice Department grants will be prioritized on use of force and de-escalation training, and a database of officers with use of force complaints would be created. He also says it's time to ban chokeholds unless an officer's life is in danger. Work on multiple proposals also continues in Congress. An Air Force sergeant already facing state charges in the ambush killing of a California sheriff's deputy is now charged in the shooting death of a federal security officer outside the U.S. courthouse in Oakland during a night of violent protests last month. That drive-by shooting left another federal officer critically injured. The suspect held without bail, due in court tomorrow. The protest zone the president's been criticizing in Seattle may be downsizing soon.
City leaders and demonstrators in the Capitol Hill occupied protest area have apparently agreed to shrink the zone. It's been largely peaceful there for a week, a street fair vibe as described, but still police free. But people who live and work in the neighborhood have expressed concern. Russell Kimball owns an auto shop and said he was burglarized Sunday night, but police didn't respond.
I mean, what has to happen for them to respond?
Seattle Police Chief Carmen Best says officers did respond, but from a distance, and didn't perceive a threat to life safety.
Clearly, if there's something that's a life safety situation, somebody injured, shots fired, we don't have any other choice. We're going in.
Officers abandoned the precinct in the area last week due to the protest.
Fox's Jessica Rosenthal, there have been reports and videos of violent confrontations involving members of the protesters' self-appointed security force. America is listening to Fox News.
At Fisher Investments, we do things differently, and other money managers don't understand why.
Because our way works great for us.
But it may not work for your clients. That's why Fisher Investments is a fiduciary, obligated to put clients first. It's the highest standard for a financial advisor.
So what do you provide? Cookie cutter portfolios like the rest of us?
No cookie cutter portfolios here. Fisher Investments tailors portfolios to meet each client's goals and needs.
But you do sell investments that earn you high commissions, right? And make commissions when you make trades for your clients?
No, Fisher Investments doesn't sell any commission investment products, and we never earn commissions on trades.
So what's in it for you?
Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when our clients do better. When it comes to helping clients achieve a comfortable retirement, we're clearly different. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments, clearly different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Weather with Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Sunshine in control, light wind, 88 for the high. Tonight, clear skies, 65. Wednesday, lots of sunshine, 89, 90 for the high temperature. Thursday, partly sunny, a little more humid, 92 Thursday afternoon. Friday and Saturday, partly sunny, 92 each day. Just a slight chance of a spot thunderstorm. Bit of an increase in shower and thunderstorms scattered about Saturday night and into Sunday. This is 97.1 FM Talk Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Hey guys, Glover here for my friends at Window World. Congratulations to the guys. They have been ranked by J.D. Power and Associates best in customer satisfaction with a window and patio door retailer 5 of the last 7 years, have the highest rating possible with the Better Business Bureau, only one of 2 window replacement companies in the country that have the Good Housekeeping seal of approval. They have the lowest prices. They have the best possible terms. They have replacement windows that are just built like tanks. One of their little deals that they do, of course, they always bring it out to your home or place of business so you can see and feel the window. They encourage you to stand on them just to prove how great and durable that they are. They have the best guarantee and warranty in the business. If anything goes wrong, they replace it, no questions asked. Call them at 314-993-1800 or visit windowworld.com. 314-993-1800, windowworld.com.
They're lurking in your basement, in the garage, unwanted appliances.
But how do you get rid of them?
Most haulers charge you money, but not D&D Free Appliance Hauling.
Just call D&D at 314-249-2951 to schedule your free pickup.
D&D Free Appliance Hauling will come to your home and remove your unwanted washers, dryers, fridges, stoves, dishwashers, and freezers fast and free.
That's D&D Free Appliance Hauling.
Serving St. Louis County, St. Charles County, Lincoln County, and the surrounding areas.
When you want to get rid of your unwanted appliances, don't pay for it.
Call D&D Free Appliance Hauling and let them come pick it up free. 314-249-2951.
314-249-2951.
314-249-2951. D&D Free Appliance Hauling. 314-249-2951.
Hey, this is Lisa Stofan. Heard the Mark Patrick weight loss hypnosis hype? Well, I attended because my father stopped smoking with hypnosis. Hypnosis eliminated my desire for soda and fast food, made me want to exercise, and I lost 60 pounds in 6 months. My energy level exploded. I went to another session to deal with some other problem foods, and I lost another 10 pounds. In fact, I brought my husband. He lost weight. More important, cholesterol and blood pressure improved. My friend went and she lost 20 pounds in the first 2 months. So does Mark Patrick hypnosis work? Oh yeah, it works. Nothing has changed my life more. Well, except maybe my husband. He's so proud of me, makes me cry.
Wow, that's a great story. Because of coronavirus, seminar now online. Live with America's hypnotist Mark Patrick in the comfort and safety of your living room. Live online seminar for the greater St. Louis area will be held live Saturday, June 20th. Register now, only $49.99 guaranteed at markpatrickseminars.com.
Hi, this is Lance Drury. If you have payroll tax problems, you have serious legal problems, you need an attorney. Call 314-260-6120 or toll free 888-367-6512 or visit LanceDruryLaw.com.
News and perspective. Because every week is bringing changes. Nationally and locally. How do you stay connected? Tune into 97.1 FM Talk or visit 971talk.com for live streaming anytime. The Annie Frey Show is sponsored by Forensic IT, the tech experts that find the root cause of your technical problems. ForensicIT.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
Right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Americans can achieve anything when we work together as one national family. To go forward, we must seek cooperation, not confrontation. We must build upon our heritage, not tear it down. And we must cherish the principles of America's founding as we strive to deliver safe, beautiful, elegant justice and liberty for all. I'd like now to invite our great friends, because they are our great friends from law enforcement, the officers representing their groups, to come up as I sign a very important executive order. And we're asking Mitch and Tim and all of the people that are here from Congress to go back.
So that's President Trump there. He just stopped.
He just said, all right, I'm done.
It was done being important. Just there's still more work that is going to be needed to be done congressionally on the issue of raising standards for police officers, but also equipping police officers. A lot of what police officers need is support to make sure they have the things that they need, that there are enough police officers out there. You know, in the city of Chicago, first of all, they're talking about defunding the police in Chicago. As we heard that conversation with the mayor and the local alderman, maybe it was, where they were both Democrats, and he's like, listen, everything is it's chaos here, and we need more. And the mayor's like, thank you for your question, and then moved on. That was the end of it. And then they cussed at each other back and forth, and I'm pretty sure that it's status quo in Chicago right now. They're asking Chicago police officers to work 12-hour shifts with like a few hours of rest in between right now, and they're also at the same time saying, but we wanted to fund you. Like, if they're so necessary, then understand the hypocrisy of what you're saying here. I don't think that our country is nearly as divided on the issue of policing as it sounds like, or as it looks like. But I do think that our country is facing a hugely, potentially large problem with policing with enough people to be able to have these staffs that are large enough to make sure that these people who are being put out there with the correct frequency of time. They're not being asked to do these 12-hour shifts. I had a message to the Facebook page from somebody who was in law enforcement, and he said that he thinks that people's shifts need to be moved around. I don't know if it's like this in every district or if it's like this in every county or in every state police scenario, but he said that oftentimes police officers end up working the same shift all the time. And if you are always working an overnight shift, you are going to probably get to a point where you're policing differently than somebody who is always working Saturday afternoons or weekdays. It's just a different experience. And you need to know that it's going to be a different experience when you do this. But if people were cycled through different shifts, that maybe they would retain some of the softness that you might get from a day shift, and also be able to understand the capacity of what goes down on a night shift. Not that it only is bad on the night and never is good in the evening, but I think that is something that is important for people to understand. Like, these are the types of things that could be done that would really improve, potentially, if this is the case. And like I said, this is a message from somebody to the Facebook page, and I just thought it made sense. And it's a policy change that you can make that would actually equip people to be better police officers and support them. I think that's a good thing. There's this young Black woman. She is everywhere on Twitter right now and on social media. And I came across this in the midst of what we are facing right now as a country, politically, through law enforcement, socially, through questions of race. And this is 1 minute and 24 seconds long, but I mean, it could be an hour and 24 minutes long, and I would want to play every single ounce of this. This is a young Black woman talking to I think maybe one of the protesters wasn't white.
Yes.
Wasn't there?
Yes.
Because she kind of directs towards, I don't remember if it was a man or a woman.
It's a guy,
She kind of directs towards this African-American standing on this protest line. So to set the stage for you, they're out in a city, and this young Black female is standing with a young Black man. That's who she's with. And then she's talking to, I believe, 4 different individuals. Katie, maybe, and Ryan, maybe we can get this up on the blog. Sure. I don't know if we can get that up now so people can see it, because seeing it is even more amazing than hearing it. But she starts talking about the history behind what we are facing right now politically, and she lays it all out there. You just absolutely have to hear this. Listen.
I know people don't like Trump. I understand that. But let me tell you something. If I had to pick between him and Joe Biden, I'm not voting in Joe Biden. You want to see a bunch of Black people go to jail by the next 4 years? Put Joe Biden in. Watch what happens. You want to see Black men get killed substantially? Like you've never seen before? Put Joe Biden in and watch what happens. These Democrats, and I'm sorry to say this, I'm not trying to be racist, but they hate Black people. These are the same people who fought to keep slavery in. These are the same people who built the KKK. These are the same people who hated us from the beginning. The Republican Party is the party of the Blacks. Blacks free. The Republican Party is the only party that the Black people actually assisted in finding. But all of that history has been torn away. People say, "Oh, there was this big switch." There was never a big switch. The union won because we had grown in the industrial era. So we were able to get trains and get supplies back to our soldiers while the Confederate was still riding horses. They were not able to get the supplies back fast enough, right? So what happened was once slavery was abolished in the South, the people in the South could no longer make their money from slaves. They had to move to the North to work in the industry to produce. And so the people in the North that already had established themselves in the industry moved to the South. And so that's where it was a transfer of people coming from the South to the North and people coming from the North to the South. There was never a big switch. So the same Democrats who hated black people from the beginning are the same ones who hate us now.
That is just like, whoa, history lesson. So I know a history teacher. So I asked the history teacher that I know, I'm like, listen to this. Is this all true? And he's like, yeah, it's true. I have heard this before. I've seen this. Dinesh D'Souza's last movie. I don't think it was The Big Lie. I'll look it up and find out what the title is. It's an amazing movie. But he's talking about, there's the historical lesson that exists, how in the world, go look at all of the votes for to end slavery. Look who was voting for it. Look who was voting against it. There is such a consistency, historically speaking, about a political party that has been pro-black and a political party that has not been. That is a historical fact. So when you look into history, how can that be true? And how can so many people not know it? I don't know the answer to that question, except for the left has very successfully managed to take control over every messaging system that we have in our country. And it starts with education. It starts with the schools. When you are in school and you get to a certain age, I think it depends on the region that you're in, the quantity of this that you'll get. But there is not an active effort to talk about even the alternative to what is mostly progressive in our education system. And then, good grief, when you get into college, please. When I was in college in the mid 2000s, I got it on a daily basis. It didn't even matter what class I was in. There was politics injected in everything. Granted, when I was in college, we were deciding on going to war in Iraq. So it was a tense time and there was a lot to talk about. And in a university, you should have a discussion of varying ideas. The problem is that the only time leftist talking points are generally challenged is if somebody steps up from the classroom and suggests something else. And you have to be pretty brave to do something like that in a lot of these classrooms across the country. The left owns the education system. They own Hollywood. They own the movies, the actors, the actresses, the television shows that you get. Very rarely does something that might speak to some more conservative values get onto the screen, the big screen or the small screen, and see success. People don't want to necessarily be involved in that. But you've gotten used to probably turning on a movie. It's a big blockbuster movie. I know some people who are just I don't want to go to the movies anymore because it's not entertaining. It's it's a lesson in social justice, or there's a point that is going to be made there that has something completely different to do with what I actually am trying to go to the movie theater to see. And people get sick and tired of it. But you're very used to and accustomed to seeing leftist-based political ideas just showing up randomly in your favorite sitcom or popping into the center of a movie that you're really digging. And then you get there and you're like, oh, well, of course. And it's almost like if it doesn't happen, that's more surprising than if it does. The question is just how in your face is this going to be? And then they have, in many cases now, they're infiltrating sports and athletics. And I think there are a lot of people who are putting their stop signs up to that and saying, it's not even a reaction that is based on how I feel about what you're saying. It's just simply, I don't want to do anything other than watch touchdowns, interceptions, home runs, and strikeouts. And the things that happen in other sports. Goals. stoppages,
Holes in one.
holes in one. I don't know that golf has really been infiltrated with politics too much.
You're right.
That's not really there's very little opportunity to inject it, but I'm sure it's probably on deck.
They'll figure it out. Yeah, they'll
So
figure
then you
it
got the sports industry that is happening right now. That's front and center. And it makes me so mad that I don't even really like talking about it here, because you are like me. You don't want to see it there. It's not just what is the message. It's that there is messaging existing in a place that is supposed to be apart from all of that. Like, I don't go to a baseball game to think about social issues. I want to high five everybody who is around me when Chris Carpenter, if he were hitting a home run right now, I'd be A-okay with it. Or Matt Carpenter, or Yachty throws somebody out at second, or if you're, at a hockey game and Binnington is being awesome, or if we're scoring goals and winning Stanley Cups, I don't care about the skin color of anybody who's around me, about the economic status of anybody who's around me, about the age or the gender. If something good happens, like, that is the thing that inherently it's in our being. It brings us together and we celebrate together. So I don't want to have a moment of politics injected into that. I don't like that. And I think most of you are the same. And regardless of the messaging, it's the presence of the fact that we have to suffer through something when we paid our ticket, or we paid to have NFL ticket or whatever it is, so that we could watch a game and get away for a hot second. It makes a really, really big difference. So the left has education, the left has the entertainment industry, the left is trying to take the athletic industry, and the biggest one I haven't said yet, the media. The people who are on the television 24/7 saying ridiculous things about news that is happening. They're not reporting news. They're only telling you what they want you to think about the news. So it's very hard as a conservative. I felt this when I was in Florida last week. When I went down to Florida, I actually saw people being proud of their country, being proud of their president, and just being happy to exist here. It was a strange level of happiness that I encountered when I was there. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that they're open up and they're allowed to be free. I don't feel like I'm allowed to be free here right now. The idea of being proud of your country, I don't see the people right now that are the loudest people in the room. I don't see them saying that they want to fix America. They hate the very genesis of America. They hate the very fiber of what we are made of. They think it is flawed and it is unfixable and it needs to be torn down, burned down, destroyed, put in the dumpster, hauled away, and something new needs to come take its place. These are the people who are the loudest, but they are not the people who are in the majority. They are not the people who are in mass. They just have a platform, and it seems as though they are everywhere. I don't think they are. I think that there is a silent majority, and I think that it's time that we all start being proud of the things that make us great and being aware of the things that we need to do to be even greater. And that will take self-reflection. That will take self-reflection on the whole country's part. And what we saw the president do today in the Rose Garden, I think, is a good step in the right direction. I'll ask Mark Cox about it when we come back, because in a park here in St. Louis, the Columbus statue has been removed. It's the Tower Grove Park in South St. Louis, and Christopher Columbus has come down. So we'll talk to him about that. We're going to see more of this. Is it not a bad idea? Is it a good idea? I don't know what you think. You can comment on our Facebook Live right now, facebook.com/Annie Frey Show. You can also go to the Annie Frey YouTube page and comment there. If you'd prefer to watch us on YouTube, you can put that up on your smart TV as well and keep us in your home. And you can stream us at radio.com. We'll be back in just a minute with Mark Cox.
And you didn't think that I would hear it. People hear you talking like
This
that,
is the Annie Frey Show.
So I'm ready to attack, gonna lead the back, gonna get a touchdown, gonna take you out. That's right, put your pom-poms down, getting everybody fired up. Few times you've been around that track, so it's not just gonna happen like that, cause there ain't no holler back, girl, ain't no holler
Hey guys, Glover here. If you are nearing retirement or already retired, call Thomas Helbig with the Retirement Advisory Group at 314-993-9494. He'll show you how to participate in the market games without ever losing a penny. Thomas is the official financial advisor of the DGS.
It's the 20th anniversary of 97.1, and we're celebrating 20 years of great Dave Glover Show moments with Michael's Flooring Outlet.
Ooh, Cookie Crisp could also be an A+, one of my faves.
B. Suddenly Rachel is 5.
Yep. I don't like it. I don't love it. I had to eat it at camp. I can't eat it again.
You had to eat it at camp?
Yeah, they were sponsored by Nestle, and all they served were those cookie cereals.
You went to a camp that was sponsored by Nestle?
Yeah,
All right, I'm bringing the music down.
Who are you?
They must have just done the food, and all I ate were those cookie cereal for 5 weeks, and I cannot look
Pack
at
up,
it.
Sue. You're going to Nestle camp.
I can't do it!
DGS 20. Listen. Mike of Michael's Flooring Outlet. Proud to be Dave's first live endorsement and being part of so many sweet memories for the past 20 years. Thank you again, St. Louis and the Dave Glover Show. 97.1. Rock on. Check me out. IGotFloored.com.
C.A. Jones is the largest Metro East home builder. And if you're thinking about building a home, I want you to check out cajonesinc.com. I love this website because it provides you a load of information. And I know that I've never built a house, but I know that when it comes time to buying a house, if you've never done it before, it's a lot to take in. Well, C.A. Jones offers so much information up front because they have nothing to hide. They're very proud of their prices. They're very proud of their price contract guarantees, no price changes unless you authorize them in advance. These are some of the things that they do to make sure that they are providing you with the best possible customer experience and a house that you're going to love making into your home. If you are looking to build in the Metro East, go on to cajonesinc.com and check out their immersive 3D and virtual reality tours of their homes that they have modeled there, and you will just be blown away with their usage of space, their ability to really articulate what is modern and beautiful today. I love these homes. You can text them or set up a video call tour with them at 618-777-6080 or visit them online at cajonesinc.com.
I'm attorney Mark Hafner of Hafner Law Office. Our firm is exclusively focused on family law, and ever since starting FlatRateDivorces.com, we've helped thousands of people move on to the next phase of their life. A lot of these cases were uncontested family law matters, which I strongly suggest if possible. Uncontested cases are generally cheaper, faster, and save a lot of stress on everyone. In an uncontested matter, the parties agree on everything and just want a painless way to separate while ensuring their interests are protected. However, if you can't agree on everything, we also represent people in contested matters. They're usually successful in working out a settlement, but we'll take a matter all the way to trial if the other party is being unreasonable. In either a contested or uncontested family law matter, you're going to want an attorney looking out for you and your children, not a billable hour requirement that they need to meet. Visit FlatRateDivorces.com to see if we're a good fit for you. Again, visit FlatRateDivorces.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. It's one thing to be stuck in your house due to COVID-19. It's another thing to be stuck with a house. We have good news for homeowners listening throughout St. Louis. Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis is still buying houses. More importantly, we offer sellers a completely virtual selling process that maintains social distancing standards. Sell your home now. Call Chris today and get a cash offer in just 7 minutes. Call 314-782-7000. Can't collect rent? Not a problem. We buy My Tenant Won't Pay Me the Rent houses as well as vacant houses. We buy houses as is and deal with any situation. If you own a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price, call Chris today and get your house sold. 314-782-7000. That's 314-782-7000. 314-782-7000.
The latest local forecast and severe weather coverage you can count on from the name in St. Louis weather.
This is 97.1's Chief Meteorologist, Dave Murray.
On 97.1 FM Talk, powered by Air Comfort Service.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Thank you for joining us, whether you are listening to us on your radio at 97.1 FM, on radio.com, an app where you can search 97.1 FM Talk there. Put the little heart next to it and subscribe to the Annie Frey Show podcasts on radio.com as well. Or if you're watching us on Facebook Live at our Annie Frey Show Facebook page or on YouTube, you can check us out on the Annie Frey YouTube page as well. You can put that up on your smart screen. And from what I understand, my mother-in-law and my children are watching right now, and they said I'm as big as life on their TV.
Oh,
I hope I'm looking very thin, slim, 180 thin. There's a story coming out of St. Louis. We've seen this all across the country. I feel like this is a revolving door, a very big revolving door. It takes a while for it to come back and be one of the lead stories again. But it's the idea of statues of people who are historical figures who, when some people see them, some people are triggered by them, some people have different reasons to see them and not really love the representation of what that person is or does. And I'm reading this from Fox 2 now. The statue of Christopher Columbus has been removed in Tower Grove Park. This is after a growing call to remove public statues of historical figures with ties to slavery. Workers appear to be lifting the statue with a crane and placing it on a flatbed truck. Some plaques on the pedestal it was placed are still there. They feature explorers like Pierre Leclerc. It's not yet clear where the statue will be taken to. So Tower Grove Park, this is a statement from Tower Grove. Tower Grove Park celebrates the diversity of our community every day and serves as the centerpiece of the region's most vibrant neighborhoods. When a statue of Christopher Columbus was placed in the park 140 years ago, its purpose was to celebrate the contributions of immigrants in this region. But now, for many, it symbolizes a historical disregard for indigenous peoples and cultures and destruction of their communities. In order to ensure a safe, inclusive, and pleasant environment for park visitors and team members alike, the park's Board of Commissioners has authorized the removal of the Columbus statue to begin the week of June 15th. By taking this action, Tower Grove Park reaffirms its commitment to being a place of welcome and to caring for the people's park in the best way possible. That is from Tower Grove Park on Facebook. I am excited to talk to Mark Cox about it. Let's get him here on the show.
It's too much winning. We can't take it anymore. We can't stop. It's too dangerous.
I'm the best there is at what I do.
And that's the bottom line.
Hello, Mark. Thanks for giving us some time here in the afternoon. From what I understand, this Christopher Columbus statues come down in Tower Grove. What's your take on this? Because Christopher Columbus, I mean, there are people who are trying to take down Abraham Lincoln stuff across the country. Some of this stuff I understand a little bit more than others, but it all seems to me to be missing the point of what history is and what we should be learning from it.
So, Annie, thank you for having me on today. Where does it stop would be my question. Columbus sailed the ocean blue, 1492, and embarrassed me and you? Where would this country be? I mean, there are still disputes as to whether or not Christopher Columbus was still the one who discovered America, right? I understand that. But now all of the bad that came after that is being hung around his neck. He was an explorer. How do the people on the Hill feel about this, Italian-American explorer, this Italian, and how he's being treated right now? I talked about this some this morning. Apparently, while we were on the air, they were still in the process of actually pulling that statue down. And, I don't agree with the decision at all. I'm not quite sure how in the world you can justify something like that.
Yeah, it's bizarre to me. Your first point is the one that I think is the most important here, is to what end? At what is the question that we're trying to provide an answer to that is going to actually solve whatever the underlying issue is? And if the underlying issue is that we see something and it reminds us of slavery, does the absence of, if somebody feels in this country as though they're treated differently because of the color of their skin, does the absence of a Christopher Columbus statue or, anything that isn't associated with the Confederacy, Does that stop them from feeling that way? And
No.
is it something? To me, it seems as though there's a human issue that we have to fix. If it's the way we treat each other, it has to do with the humans that are involved, not the inanimate objects, not any sort of governmental policy that's going to be put in place necessarily. It's like if we need to treat each other better as humans, and all indications are that we all should be working on that right now, I just don't understand the removal of a statue and how that's going to solve anything.
Yesterday in Albuquerque, the hordes, as I'll refer to them, decided they were going to tear down the statue of a Spanish conquistador in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Now, a shooting ended up happening, and now they're trying somehow to blame that on some militia group that happened to be there trying to protect the statue. Regardless of how the shooting happened, what does a Spanish conquistador statue in New Mexico, why does that offend you so much? It's representative of a time period, obviously, before America was even a thing. And yet that has to be torn down, or somebody doesn't feel like they can complete their day with a healthy conscience. I don't get it, and I think it speaks to what these groups are really after.
I want to play this clip for you. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say It's not about the statue. It's not about the Confederate statue. It's not about the Washington Monument. It's about tearing down America from its very foundations. When you're after Washington and Jefferson, you're after the foundations of this country. Now they're willing to go back even further after Christopher Columbus.
Yeah, it won't end. It never will end. I want to play this clip from you from Britt Hume. He was on Tucker Carlson. This was a couple weeks ago, and I never got to play it, but I thought Britt did such a fantastic
job. You would never
job.
know, listening to Biden's speech, that it wasn't still 1968. That civil rights legislation, would never know that it ever passed. That countless blacks have moved into the middle class. We'd never know any of that. That racial progress has been extraordinary in this country. Has any country on earth, Tucker, ever tried harder to right the racial wrongs as this country has? If it has, I'd like to know which it is, because I don't know that's the case. We fought a civil war, the unbelievable bloodshed, lives were given to end slavery. People have shed blood since then. We have tried very hard as a nation.
I think that our country has been very aware of the sins of our past, and it's not to say that we're the only country at all that has those sins that we have trying to atone for or have tried to atone for. But when you do look, comparatively speaking, across the entire world at what the United States of America has done to eradicate something as awful as the existence of slavery in the past, you would think, if you just flipped on the television for the first time today, you would think that none of that has ever taken place, and that the Republicans have been the party of slavery and the party of racial segregation this entire time.
Yeah, I love, Dinesh D'Souza has a couple of movies. One specifically addresses this, where he points out where the votes were on the civil rights movement, and who was fighting segregation in the South, and all of these issues all down through our history. And the fact that America singularly has addressed these as a country and stayed together. And are we perfect? No. Have we ever been? No. Will we ever be? It's doubtful. But the way this country's portrayed these days, particularly in the eyes of the world, is sickening to me. And people are dying to get in this country. We forget the immigration debate, Annie. People are willing to travel 1,200 miles across, a third world country to try to get to this country. And the people that live here act like they hate it, at least some of them. And given a chance, every time in history, America has made the right choice. And I don't think you can get around that. I love that point, and I love that bite from Britt Hume.
Hey, Mark, it's Ryan. What do you make of the St. Louis Democrats putting out that 5-point plan to defund the police? I mean, does this have legs? Is this going to happen?
Well, no, I really don't think so. I know enough Democrats in the city who are, common sense. They have enough common sense that they know that's not a thing. We can't, I jokingly said this morning, Ryan, I don't know if you guys remember the movie Escape from New York with Kurt Russell. In fact, part of it was filmed at Union Station before they remodeled it years ago when it was in disrepair. And it was about New York, and then they did a second movie about L.A. where the crime got so bad they finally just walled it off and let the criminals run it. They didn't even try to impose any laws there. Ultimately, what do you get if you take away law and order in this country? And I know the people that are talking about defunding the police will argue that they don't want no police. They just want different police. Well, what they want is their police and not the police as it is now. And people who support law and order are never going to stand for that. And a lot of common sense Democrats I know in the city are never going to stand for that. These are the people who are convinced that Kim Gardner is a threat to law and order in this city, and they're the ones that want her to get defeated in her upcoming primary. So no, I don't think that goes anywhere. But to your point, Ryan, it's embarrassing that the St. Louis Democratic Party actually had those issues up on their website for people to vote on. They wanted you to vote on whether or not you supported taking weapons away from the St. Louis Police Department. That's an option.
Did you get to hear the president's executive order? Is that something that you were able to take into?
I heard a little bit of it, and interestingly, I heard CNN's take on it afterwards because it came across my phone. President Trump, however it was worded, half-heartedly calls for police reform that favors police is basically how they worded it. They want to portray it as if the president doesn't care. That's how I read it anyway. And I mean, clearly the president understands that you've got to have law and order. You can't just surrender the streets to anarchy because we see what happens. Every case where that's happened. Look at Seattle. Seattle's an embarrassment to this country, and the mayor wants to pretend like it's a street party. But can you imagine if 6 city blocks were taken over by people fighting the draconian gun laws in Seattle? They'd clear that place like a looter clearing a Nike store.
Yeah, it is really something to see what is taking place in Seattle and the way that is being managed there. It's got all of the eyes of the country on it, and just kind of curious to see how this pans out. They certainly don't seem to be in a hurry to wrap it up at all. Well, Mark, it's good to have you on today. Thank you for coming on. I want to encourage people to go like the Mark Cox Show on Facebook. You can also subscribe to the Mark Cox Morning Show podcast at radio.com as well. Mark, we'll be tuning in tomorrow at 5 a.m.
Sounds good, Annie. Thanks.
Yep. Talk to you soon. Thank you so much. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, we can take some phone calls at 314-241-9797, 314-241-9797. Happy Tuesday to you. We're going to speak with Jim Carafano at 2 o'clock and talk to him. One of the notifications, I said this before, but I wake up at about 7 a.m. every morning and I look at my phone to see if the world's falling apart. And there was a China-India conflict and North Korea bombed something in South Korea. And I was like, shouldn't have looked at my phone. I should have just slept through that alarm. So Jim Carafano will tell us what's going on there at 2 o'clock, along with the pulling back of some troops out of Germany. He's going to update us on that as well. Your phone calls when we come back, though. 314-241-9797. Back in just a minute.
When you human calling, it won't do you no good. It won't do you no good. No, we don't mind. If you don't mind.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show.
Never mind.
Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Studio. Get in your comfort zone with Carrier Cool cash rebates, $50 to $1,650 and 0% financing on qualifying new HVAC systems. For details and all things heating and cooling, visit aircomfortservice.com.
If you're considering an annuity as part of your retirement plan, we need to talk. Hi, I'm Bob Stockdale, Senior Vice President Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel, and host of On the Money, heard every Saturday morning at 11 on 97.1 FM Talk. Annuities can be a useful tool for some retirement investors, but not all annuities are created equal. Nearly every week, our team meets with clients who own complex annuities that don't suit their needs and, in some cases, actively undermine their retirement plan. Before you purchase an annuity, get a second opinion on your retirement plan today. When you work with us at the ClearPath Wealth Management Group, we're committed to providing you with guidance that's in your best interest, no exceptions. To request your free consultation, contact us at bobstockdale.com. That's bobstockdale.com. Again, that's bobstockdale.com. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE.
Home truly is your place of trust. Protect your investment with a free remote estimate from CertaPro Painters. Show us what you'd like painted from the safety and comfort of your own home. We'll ask some questions and add some expert advice. Then we'll provide a detailed estimate so you know exactly what you're getting and what happens next. It's all quick, safe, and easy. Whatever painting project you have in mind, your local neighborhood CertaPro Painters will do the job right. Start your remote or on-site estimate today at CertaPro.com. Proven and trusted experts in painting.
I stopped smoking with Mark Patrick's hypnosis when nothing else worked. 1 year later, my wife Michelle and I attended the Mark Patrick Weight Loss Hypnosis Seminar. In 2 months, lost 43 pounds, and she lost 18 pounds.
And we feel great.
Stop smoking or lose weight now. Live online interactive seminars with America's hypnotist Mark Patrick for the greater St. Louis area, Saturday, June 20th. Register now, only $49.99 guaranteed at markpatrickseminars.com.
Hey guys, this is Rachel from my good friends at Upkeep Home Warranty and Maintenance. Most warranty companies will sign you up and then hope that you never contact them again. Or when you do, they deny your claim for lack of maintenance. You don't have to worry about that with Upkeep. At Upkeep, you deal with one home manager. That is your point person who is going to take care of everything for you. Upkeep comes out and will maintain your appliances and equipment 4 times a year. You know exactly who's going to show up because they don't contract out their work. And when they come in, they're not trying to upsell you. Let's face it, you probably already have a service plan or maintenance plan for your HVAC or equipment, but now you can have all of that plus your equipment covered for about the same cost. And the best part is now you have the peace of mind knowing that your equipment is taken care of and you're saving tons of money on your utilities. Log on to upkeepstl.com, check out everything they do, and mention the DGS and get $100 off the program. That website is upkeepstl.com.
You've been lied to by corrupt Washington politicians and the Wall Street propaganda machine. Hi, I'm Inc. magazine bestselling author Brett Kitchen, and I want to give you a free copy of my brand new book, Wealth Beyond Wall Street, because we all know another market crash could be right around the corner. After losing 35% in my IRA in the crash years ago, I said enough. And since then, I discovered a way to grow money potentially double digits, reduce taxes dramatically, and also have my money protected when the next stock market crash hits. When the next market crash hits, you lose nothing. Call Wealth Beyond Wall Street now to get your free copy and talk with a specialist to discover this little-known strategy to get potential double-digit growth during good years and never lose when the next stock market crash hits, all while building a tax-advantaged retirement. Call 1-800-582-1717 to discover this asset that people like Walt Disney and JCPenney use to grow wealthy. Plus, when you call right now, you'll get the free audiobook, and we'll even cover shipping and handling. No credit card required. Call 1-800-582-1717, 1-800-582-1717. That's 1-800-582-1717.
The Dave Glover Show.
Another thing I like to do is to take my Jazzercise to a restaurant, order a plate of food, and then pretend to eat it with my Jazzercise and just gung, 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 gung.
Weekdays at 3 on 97.1 FM Talk.
Got to come home and me. I just got some good old loving and I got some on stove. When I get so throwing it on you, you got to come back for more. Boy, them things that come by the dozen, that ain't nothing but drugs, no love. Hey, little thing, let me lie to
What percentage of words to the song do you actually know?
Drugstore loving.
I know. Yeah, I know that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Probably 5%.
Hey, little thing, let me light your candle because your mama is sure hard to handle now. Yes, around.
I sing the whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
Like on my own. I don't know that the things that I'm singing are words.
Isn't that funny how much you
of a
do that as a kid, and then the older you get, the more you actually realize they're singing words?
I was driving through the Tennessee mountains to go to Florida, and I had on Sirius XM. Yes, I know. That way I don't have to keep changing the local radio, and I didn't want to be messing with my Spotify on my phone because it was, as I said, driving through the Smoky Mountains at 2 a.m. So I was going between the 90s and the Pop 2K or whatever station, and I know every word to every song that was somewhere in the mid to late 90s and the early 2000s. I'm like, what part of my brain are these words just been hanging out in? Because I'm singing, I'm like, I hear the beginning of the song, I'm like, oh, this sounds familiar. And then I just start singing it. And I mean, I was like, I sang because everybody else was sleeping, and it was 2 a.m. and we drove overnight, and I'm like, welcome to my concert, and everybody fell asleep.
Yeah. Isn't that
But
sad? I can't remember my brother's girlfriend's name, but I can remember a song from 1994.
I enjoyed it. It was,
great.
and then on the way back, I was listening to the same ones. I think I had heard the whole library, and I was like, all right, let's watch or listen to something else. So we started listening to the Disney movies. I'll tell you what, the Cassins Chrysler Pacifica made the trip. I would never have been able to do that in our old vehicle that didn't have the technology in it. And when we were looking at getting a vehicle, we were looking at something like a full-size SUV, and we decided to go that if we would have gotten that, we would have not been able to. We got a new Pacifica because it was much more affordable to get a new Pacifica. We would have had to get a 50,000 mile 2-3-year-old full SUV, and so we made that decision, and we were just the whole way there into Florida and the whole way back. We're like, this vehicle is amazing. Getting 28 miles to the gallon. I mean, it cost us like less than $80 to get down to Florida.
Gosh, it's great.
That's
crazy. That's amazing.
So I don't know why I'm not going back this weekend again. So I'm considering it.
Well,
we were talking with Mark Cox here just in the past segment. And if you missed that, go to radio.com and subscribe to our podcast or wherever you get your podcast from. And you can hear him talking about this story. The Christopher Columbus statue has been removed in Tower Grove Park. And we got Bill on the line here. I want to get Bill's phone call in here. If you want to give us a ring, 314-241-9797, and you can join the show. Bill, thank you for calling the show. Good to have you here.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing fine. So you were there when this was taking place?
No, ma'am. What happened was I got asked yesterday from a local crane company to take down the Christopher Columbus statue, and they told me that, and I refused to do it.
Huh.
And I just was in my conscience, I just couldn't do it. I just told them, I said, I can't do it. And so basically, I just wanted to listen.
What is it that makes you make that, take that bold step and say, no, I can't participate in that? Like, what is it about? I don't know that you're probably not like a huge fan of Christopher Columbus, like historically speaking. I don't know how much you know about Christopher Columbus or how impassioned you are about supporting him. But what is it that you believe that makes you think that it should stay?
Well, I mean, we're all Americans, and he's the one that founded the New World. Whether good, bad, or indifferent, he's the man that founded it, and you're here, I'm here, other people are listening, they're here because of him. It could have been a different man, but we decided to honor him for what he did do, and we didn't even have engines back then. So this guy came across the ocean on a sail.
Yeah.
I mean, just give it that. I mean, give him credit where credit's due. And I saw what happened, and I didn't want to be on the news. I didn't want to have my face in the cab and lifting that crane and during the daylight. And I'm not a turncoat,
Bill, thank you for the phone call. I appreciate it. And good to have your story on here. Do you see, it's not black and white for me on the statues. Christopher Columbus to me is a strange one. The Confederacy monuments that are up, I will say, I think that they should exist in a place that is dedicated to historical context. I believe that the visual of somebody who championed the Confederate South in war and fought to preserve it, I can definitely understand how, of course, if I see that, I don't think about how my great-great-great-grandmother or grandfathers were enslaved by people who didn't look like me because I'm white. I will defer to people who do see those statues and feel like, it's not really like the greatest reminder. I don't know that the solution is to destroy them, because if we destroy our history, then we forget where we came from. That's the phrase, you're bound to repeat history. I think Christopher Columbus, I think, to me, that's kind of silly, but I think that the Confederacy monuments and statues that we have to be preserved in a way that indicates what our history is as a country is a valuable lesson for people who live here. And Senator Roy Blunt, I saw this, and I saw this on television, so I didn't actually see it on the internet, which is why I didn't send it to you, Katie. But he said, he goes, I have to think that in some of these cases, there might be some people who have impacted our country since those statues were put up that might be more worthy of that place than somebody who fought for the Confederacy. And I'm putting words into Roy Blunt's mouth. Maybe we can find that and play that in a bit. But his point was, it's not like the only people worthy of a statue existed 200 whatever years ago.
Right.
That maybe there's somebody else who we could honor in that place. John F. Kennedy or a Martin Luther King or something like that, depending on the place of the statue, the location. So I am not, if it hurts somebody to see these, I am open to the idea of alternative solutions to the problem. What about you, Ryan?
Yeah, I'm pretty much right with you. I didn't know that I would be so lockstep with you on this issue. But to me, the question you always ask before you take down a monument like that is, why are we celebrating them in the first place? If the answer is because
it doesn't have to be celebrating, though. I want to challenge you on the word or memorializing. I mean, because you can have, Auschwitz is still standing. They didn't ruin and tear down Auschwitz, because the visual of it is extremely important to the world to see this place that was very real.
Agreed, but there's no statues of people at Auschwitz, right?
I've never been, but I know that the building in and of itself still exists, and that's a very powerful visual for people to see, the train tracks coming in. And
well, to me, if you're memorializing, whatever word you want to use, a person, then you are honoring that person in some way by putting up a statue of them. And if the reason that you're honoring them or whatever is because they fought in the wrong side of the Civil War, that to me is like, well, that's going to be really tough to defend. However, if you're honoring somebody like George Washington, you're not saying, I want to honor this man because he was a slave owner. You're honoring him because he was the founder of the country. So Katie, to me is the question.
Katie, can you imagine if we were to replace these statues with new ones, how our country would attempt to come to an agreement on who goes there instead?
Oh gosh, the chaos that would ensue. And I would say that I am not for people like putting graffiti or anything like that on these statues. I think that's totally crazy. But there was a vote by a board of commissioners that said, okay, let's remove them, because a lot of people are complaining and a lot of people do feel upset when they see it. If that's the case, then that's what will happen.
Maybe there should be two statues in place of every single statue that exists right now, and each political party gets to choose one statue.
Oh my gosh. Compromise.
Yeah, maybe there should be two random statues. Why is Donald Trump at every historical landmark? Yeah. We'll be right back with Jim Carabano.
This is Lisa Stofan. Heard the Mark Patrick weight loss hypnosis hype? Well, I attended because my father stopped smoking. I lost 70 pounds and my friend lost 20 pounds in the first 2 months.
Wow, what are you waiting for? Because of coronavirus, seminar now online, live with America's hypnotist, Mark Patrick, in the comfort and safety of your living room. Live online seminar for the greater St. Louis area will be held live Saturday, June 20th. Register now, only $49.99 guaranteed at markpatrickseminars.com.
Decision 2020 is here at 971talk.com/election. Brought to you by Grasser Electric. Don't be left in the dark. Make the right call. Grasser Electric on 97.1 FM Talk.
What's your favorite four-letter word? Chances are you've said it more than a few times with this social distancing, face mask wearing, staying at home world we live in. But at Compass Retirement Solutions, our four-letter word of choice is hope. Hope for a better tomorrow. Hope that your retirement plans don't take a backseat. You've watched the market drop and maybe your retirement future feels a little uncertain right now. But all hope is not lost. Find out exactly how much risk you're still taking with your investments and find out how you may be able to save big on taxes while the market is down. Find out how having a written retirement plan just might give you the hope you've been looking for. Call the team today to set up a meeting. 314-373-1598. Compass Retirement Solutions. 314-373-1598. And for more on retirement planning, listen to Rethinking Retirement, Saturdays at 8 and 4 and Sundays at 11. Investments and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and Illinois. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. Compass Retirement Solutions does not provide tax advice.
Hi, George Weber. Check out my alter ego, Skip Weber, every Saturday night, 9 to 11. The Saturday Evening Rock Show, the greatest rock and roll show on a talk station in the world. Don't miss it.
Hey guys, Glover here from my very good friends at ThrottleNet. So if you ever listen to one of these recorded ads, listen to this one. A company can expect 232 targeted cyber attacks per year that results in 30 breaches. 24% of businesses hit with malware took a week or more to regain access to their data. Many businesses just flat go under. They are targeting small towns. They are targeting dentist offices. They are targeting big businesses. They're targeting government. You're going to get hit. Let me tell you about ThrottleNet. ThrottleNet has saved their clients more than $2.6 million in ransom last year alone. And get this, ThrottleNet clients have never paid a dime in ransomware. Let me say that again. They've never paid a dime because they are protected. No contracts. Leave anytime you want. You have to check these guys out. You'll find them at throttlenet.com to protect your business, to protect everything you have. Go to throttlenet.com.
KFTK FM Florissant, K254CR St. Louis, driven by the Bommarito Automotive Group, 97.1 FM Talk, a radio.com station.
An executive order on safe policing. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News.
We need to bring law enforcement and communities closer together, not to drive them apart.
President Trump signing an order designed to encourage better police practices, in part by tying improvement to federal grants. He also wants a database to keep track of officers with a history of excessive force complaints, while still emphasizing his support for law enforcement, calling the vast majority of officers selfless public servants.
We must support the brave men and women in blue who police our streets and keep us safe.
The president also expressing hope for bipartisan work on reform in Congress. But Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer accuses Republicans of moving too slowly.
We didn't say do our bill immediately. We asked our Republican colleagues to commit to a debate on our bill before July 4th, within the next 4 weeks.
Republicans are working on bills in both chambers after the House passed a Democrats' version. The Fed chief warning again that the U.S. economy could have a long road back from the coronavirus pandemic.
There are parts of the economy that will struggle to return to their old ways of activity because they involve getting people together closely in large groups. And so it's going to take some time to rebuild confidence.
Jay Powell telling Congress a full recovery is unlikely until the public is confident coronavirus is contained. But Wall Street's been rallying after a stronger than expected report on retail sales for May, a record surge of nearly 18%. An hour to the close, the Dow's been up about 600 points. A major utility company just pleading guilty in California to killing 84 people in the wildfire that wiped out the town of Paradise in 2018. The CEO of PG&E entering the pleas and apologizing to victims' families while admitting their equipment started the fire. America is listening to Fox News.
At Fisher Investments, we do things differently, and other money managers don't understand why.
Because our way works great for us.
But it may not work for your clients. That's why Fisher Investments is a fiduciary, obligated to put clients first. It's the highest standard for a financial advisor.
So what do you provide? Cookie cutter portfolios like the rest of us?
No cookie cutter portfolios here. Fisher Investments tailors portfolios to meet each client's goals and needs.
But you do sell investments that earn you high commissions, right? And make commissions when you make trades for your clients?
No. Fisher Investments doesn't sell any commission investment products, and we never earn commissions on trades.
So what's in it for you?
Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when our clients do better. When it comes to helping clients achieve a comfortable retirement, we're clearly different. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments, clearly different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling weather with Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Sunshine in control, light winds, 88 for the high. Tonight, clear skies, 65. Wednesday, lots of sunshine, 89, 90 for the high temperature. Thursday, partly sunny, a little more humid, 92 Thursday afternoon. Friday and Saturday, partly sunny, 92 each day. Just a slight chance of a spot thunderstorm. Bit of an increase in shower and thunderstorms scattered about Saturday night and into Sunday. This is 97.1 FM Talk Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
It's open enrollment season, and MediShare is a Christian healthcare sharing ministry that saves most families about $500 a month. Google MediShare and see if it's a right fit for you. And check out the podcast from the Associated Press, Ground Game, hosted by AP's digital editor, Megan Crane.
Talked to a friend the other day who's getting ready to put his house on the market, and he had hired some painters to come over and paint the trim and do some other things, and he was having to get some of his siding replaced. And he looked at me and he goes, "Wait a minute, you had that Rhino shield put on a few years ago, didn't you?" And I just smiled at him because I did. And I had it put on 12 years ago, and I don't have to worry about touching up anything because it looks as good today as it did the day they put it on. I couldn't be happier with this product. It's an exterior ceramic coating is what they call it. It looks beautiful like any paint job you might get. It just lasts for 25 years. It's fantastic. Call Darren. Let him come over and give you an estimate on this great product. He's honoring right now his 2019 pricing. So take advantage of that while you can. Get on the schedule, 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com.
Everyone's loving what Diamonds Direct is doing right now. It's the best stimulus plan ever. 5 years, 0 interest financing on any purchase with no money down. It's Diamonds Direct's way of helping you make your money go further as we all look forward to better days. Just pick any item in Diamonds Direct showcases. Get the amazing value price you know we're known for. Make no down payment and spread your payments over 5 years without paying a dime in interest. That means a $6,000 designer ring is yours for just $100 a month. This makes everything more affordable at a time when we need it most. Rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, bands, colored gemstones, designer fashion jewelry. Take the price, divide by 60, and that's your payment. You can even finance the sales tax. Celebrate summer, celebrate life, celebrate love with Diamonds Direct's most spectacular offer ever. 5 years, 0 interest with nothing down. Now for a limited time on approved credit. Diamonds Direct.
Olive and 270 at City Place.
Stewart's American Mortgage. It's Stewie, folks. He's got the bagel loan. You know Stewie. He is the guy who's going to help you with your refinance or your home purchase. There is no better place to go. Stewie has his entire business set up around you, the customer. He has kind of an old way of doing business that's kind of back in trend now. You know, you can go online and you can type stuff into a website and get pre-approved for a mortgage. Good grief. How do you trust that? I don't trust myself at all doing that kind of big business with my money, a huge investment, the biggest investment I'm going to make on a computer. I want somebody who knows the industry, who has mastered the industry. That's Stewie. It's Stewart's American Mortgage. He also has the Bank Buster loan right now. Stewart's angry, wants to take it to the banks, and he's done that by creating the Bank Buster loan in addition to the bagel loan. These are 30-year loans, folks, and there are interest rates at around near 3%, even under 3% potentially. You need to reach out to him to find out what you qualify for. You will not be disappointed. 314-324-4440, 314-324-4440. Call him or text him. Mention you heard him on the Annie Frey Show, and you won't be disappointed, I promise. NMLS number 226715.
Take 97.1 FM Talk with you on the radio.com app. Available on your smartphone in the App Store. Take us with you and never miss the news and opinion from 97.1. Download the radio.com app today and stream us anytime, anywhere. The Annie Frey Show is sponsored by Forensic IT, the tech experts that find the root cause of your technical problems. ForensicIT.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what you're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
Right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not a married sweetheart.
Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Thanks for choosing us today, this afternoon on, from what I understand, it's a nice day outside. Is that right? Last time I said that it was like not nice
It's
outside.
gorgeous outside right now.
I was just out upstairs and I was getting something to eat, and it was calling me to just go outside and be in the sunshine. So hopefully you're enjoying yourself, and we appreciate you choosing to spend some time with us today. I want to get to our guest because, as I said earlier, I woke up this morning, checked my phone at 7 a.m. just to see what's going on, and North Korea is bombing South Korea, at least to the extent of a liaison office there. And I said we should get Jim Carafano on today. Oh, it's Tuesday. He's going to be on. So Jim, thank you so much for coming on here. Great to have an expert on national security and foreign policy issues on a day like today.
Good to be with you. So first of all, before people head for the bomb shelter, we should make clear that the South Korea liaison office is actually in North Korea, and they did blow it up, but it was actually empty. It's actually been dormant for quite a while.
So what is the purpose? What's the political purpose of that kind of an action? Because it gets the world's attention. It was worthy of a Fox News alert. And you see North Korea, South Korea, and some sort of explosion, and everybody kind of leans into that. What was the political point of that action?
Well, North Korea trying to get the world's attention in a way that's provocative, doesn't bring, DEFCON 5 and, American missiles coming down on Pyongyang. So there's a couple of things going on here, all simultaneously. We feel pretty confident about that. One is Kim's sister, who is behind the get tough on South Korea, get tough on the Americans, be more angry thing, right? So part of that is to raise her profile in the country and among the leadership. Part of it's also possibly to set her up as the successor to Kim if for some reason his health does actually fail.
Where is Kim?
He's fine. Yeah, he's fine. I mean, we see pictures of him. He definitely seems to be in control. But there definitely does seem to be an effort, which he would probably support because he's in charge of everything, to have a more prominent profile for his sister. So that's part of it. Part of it is to pressure the South Koreans to make concessions. That the South reached out to the North by being angry. I think the North maybe they can get the South to cut up more. And then part of it is aimed at the U.S. Either one is, hey, Trump, look how dangerous we are. The last thing you want to do is mess with us before your election. Why don't you give us a bunch of concessions? Or alternatively, let's flip it up now. So if the other guy wins, we'll immediately want to give us concessions. So that's the way the North Koreans think. So, but as my friend of mine once said, it was totally brilliant. It's more like the guy at the bar in the saloon in the bar fight saying, "Hold me back," as opposed to "Hold my beer, I'm going to go punch this guy."
Yeah. Jim Carafano, leading expert in national security and foreign policy at Heritage, on the phone with us. Jim, since we're talking about North Korea, Trump is not going to give anything up to North Korea. So what exactly is it? Just, I mean, using the guy in the bar analogy, is it a guy who just gets upset a lot and decides that he's going to go to the bar and get drunk and get in a fight tonight? I mean, is that what they do? Do they just decide we're just not going to be friends with anybody?
Well, I think sometimes the North Koreans have an exaggerated belief on their importance in the world. And they think that if they can be angry and threatening, that everybody will stop what they're doing, which of course Fox and CNN and MSNBC did, and say, "Oh my God, North Korea's bad." But traditionally they kind of overplay their hand. And they can't be so provocative, so dangerous that we're going to start World War III, because that leads to the end of the regime, and that's the one thing they don't want. So they have to be dangerous enough to get people's attention, but not too dangerous to start something. And they often miscalculate on that. And I think you're absolutely right. The worst thing Trump could do now is to run and make concessions to North Koreans, or even just pay attention. He says, "Look, dudes, I'm going to get reelected. When I come back and get reelected, you know what's going to be on the table? The same deal that was on the table before I got reelected."
We're speaking with Jim Carafano. I want to ask you about the news that Trump is planning to potentially pull some troops out of Germany. This centers around something that always has Donald Trump's attention, and that's other people paying their fair share What is the president's purpose of taking those troops out? Is that a threat, and so he can get them to Germany or other European leaders to step up to the plate, or do you think it is as much about bringing troops home?
No, I think it reflects in part, it reflects the president's frustration with Germany, and Germany has not just stepped up to its plate in meeting its responsibilities to NATO. And the president's been harping on this for a number of years, and so this threat, which is what it is the president really exercising his frustration with Germany. Having said that, our position in Germany is really incredibly advantageous for the United States. Germany is our platform to do things over really half the world. It's not about defending Germany. It's a vitally important to us. And I think even if they wanted to move the troops, we need a strong presence in Germany in our interest, and we need to actually beef up our support in Europe, not make it smaller. But it definitely reflects the president, who I think has righteous indignation on the fact that the Germans have consistently failed to meet their obligations. And the problem is when he does this stuff, the Germans don't come back with constructive ideas. They just throw up their hands and they start moaning about Trump. And so what we really need is Germany to come back with a constructive solution for supporting both our common defense. Not to just whine about Donald Trump being mean to them.
Jim Carafano, is this a precursor with Germany to Trump possibly looking at pulling troops from other parts of the world too? I mean, is it really about the troops? Is it just about Germany? Because I know he's not really a foreign policy hawk. He doesn't seem like the kind of guy who wants to keep troops everywhere if he can bring them home.
Well, that's right. And that's what every president should want. We shouldn't have troops deployed overseas if they don't actually accomplish something that is in our interest. On the other hand, the president's demonstrated many, many times that if there's an American interest there to be defended and it makes sense, he will put American boots on the ground to do that. Look at Syria. We still have troops on the ground in Syria, as much as the president, recognizes that that's not our fight, but there are things there that we need to safeguard. We have troops doing that. We still have troops in Iraq. We still have troops in Afghanistan. So it's not the president just being kind of reflexively, I don't want anybody overseas, I'm an isolationist. It's about the president, I don't want to put forces where they aren't contributing and not making sense.
Jim, thank you so much for coming on with us today. We appreciate it because a lot of these political issues affect us greatly here. And with so much going on in the news cycle right now, it's often easy to not pay attention to them. So we always appreciate your expertise.
Well, that's my job. Thanks for having me on. We just love your guys' show. So keep it up, guys.
Thank you. We love you too. Thank you so much. Heritage's leading expert in national security and foreign policy challenges. Always great to have him on. Follow him on Twitter at JJ Carafano. He's really good at using GIFs. We've talked about this before. Katie, are you a GIF or a GIF?
At first I was GIF because that's what I heard, like the proper pronunciation
and
of
then
it
I
was.
bullied you into saying it correctly.
And then either you said or someone was like, well, it's like a gift. So you have to, so think of it as that, but it's a GIF. I'm like, oh, that makes sense too. So now I say GIF.
GIF is for purists. GIF is for the everyday man, which I am.
You probably call it GIF.
Just to be different.
But then I also get confused.
I sent you?
It's like Weinstein and wine, whatever. Like whenever you say someone's last name, Rod Rosenstein.
Yeah, Rosenstein.
Well, the thing about that though is that's somebody's name. So there's I'm sure he doesn't say both.
Yes, correct.
It's correct. Like,
my last name. I don't know.
My last name is actually Frey. It's not Frey, and I married into it. I don't know. I don't know if it's more frustrating to have your name be mispronounced if it's always been your name. Like if men probably, I don't know if men, I'm just going to stereotype men right now that you probably don't care, but nobody says Wiggins wrong. I mean, that's a pretty obvious.
It's actually pronounced Wagons, but that's just me.
And Katie,
no, you're right.
Katie's a Fitzpatrick. That's easy to say, but I would say more people say Frey. If they don't know, they default to Frey. I think, sorry, married into family. Frey is the German pronunciation, I would assume, I think. So that is the way we say it. But I know a lot of, especially in politics, especially in Missouri and in Illinois, some people who are like in the Republican Party that I have associated with who have seen my name a lot but never heard it pronounced. Like I'll have conversations with them for like over a year, somewhat relative, and then like I'll get announced. They'll be like Annie Frey, and I'm like, oh,
we've been talking for a year, but
yeah.
okay.
But you don't know, and I'm sure that I've done it a million times myself to other people.
I definitely said Annie Frey whenever I was the first day of my internship with you. I definitely told the front
you into
desk
saying
attendant
it correctly there too. I was like,
said,
there's 2 things you need to know, Katie.
Listen
it's
up.
Frey and it's GIF, and I will have it no other way.
I remember telling Josie specifically at the front desk whenever I walked in, I'm here to see Annie Frey, and she's like, what? I'm like, I'm here to see Annie Frey. And she's
Katie
like, we
came
don't know that person.
out of the chair of getting her wisdom teeth pulled to come and interview with me for me to potentially hire as my digital intern.
She was a fan.
Like, that's how I knew that this was going to be amazing. She was medicated.
I was dedicated.
Medicated.
Dedicated and medicated. Both of those things happened.
I have been told by purists that it actually is, not only is it GIF, but it is also pronounced Wikipedia, not Wikipedia.
I can't be around those people.
No, I can't either, but that's what I'm told.
Wikipedia.
It's actually a great way to meet people and decide if you want to stay.
Yeah.
So you should make them like, lighthearted, just cocktail party talk. You say GIF or GIF. And then if you're like, the correct form is that it is GIF, you're like, okay, got to get another drink.
Yeah.
You avoid those people for the rest of the night.
Yes. Yes. Except that it was my good friend who told me that, and I can't avoid him. So
you keep trying.
You can't end that friendship.
But we're growing further and further apart by the year. I can tell you that.
It's good that you have your priorities straight. Brad's on our Facebook chat says graphic interchange format. Brad, I'm calling you out as one of those people right now. But he said graphic has a hard G, therefore the G in GIF needs to be a hard G.
Ooh, I like that.
Is
I
G
like that.
Is G the hard, not the J?
That's hard. Yeah. J would be soft. G.
Can this be the promo for today?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
As long as it ends
We're
with
learning.
her saying, can this be the promo for today?
I wouldn't be surprised if it is. It's time to be the worst promo that would ever.
We've had some pretty saucy promos, I'll tell you.
Yeah, I'm going with Brad. Brad just gave me some graphic interchange format. I didn't need to know that, but I do now, and it proved me right, so I will go with it. That's how we do here. That's how half of the world thinks that we think about everything. Let me find a fact that subsidizes my point, and we will consider it truth. All right, quick break. When we come back, we could take some phone calls. 314-241-9797. Charles says in our Facebook chat right now, you can join us on Facebook Live, millennials ... with an eye roll. What is that supposed to mean? I'm going to be a real millennial here and be triggered, and I'm going to get over it over the break. We'll be back in just a minute.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
That's the impression that I get.
I'm Eric Robert with Stifel. The economy is always changing, but what does it mean for your investments? Join me and fellow Stifel financial advisor Bob Stockdale during On the Money, Saturday mornings from 11 until noon on 97.1 FM Talk. Stifel, member NYSE and SIPC.
Hi, I'm Tom Connors. Went to Mark Patrick's hypnosis seminar February 6, 2019. Nothing worked before. Left there and never smoked again. Amazing. Easy, affordable, and guaranteed. A year later, with my wife, Michelle, attended Mark Patrick's weight loss seminar. She lost 18 pounds, and I lost 43 in 8 weeks.
It's true. We smoked 2 packs a day, and nothing worked until Mark Patrick Hypnosis. Now we're losing weight together, eating healthy, full on half the food, crazy, enjoying exercising. Who would have believed Mark Patrick Hypnosis really works?
It's amazing. I can breathe again. My blood pressure went down, and I've got so much energy.
So much energy.
And look great.
Your habits are out of control. With hypnosis, create new healthy habits. Join America's hypnotist Mark Patrick live online. Interactive weight loss or stop smoking hypnosis seminar. Only $49.99 for the greater St. Louis area. On Saturday, June 20th in the comfort and safety of your home. Go to markpatrickseminars.com and register now.
It's Annie, and I'm inviting you to join me and Thomas Helbig, along with Mark Cox and Dave Glover, for the Protecting Your Retirement educational event on Thursday, June 25th at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30 p.m. Call 855-755-1555 now to reserve your seat. It's limited seating, so you need to hurry. Here's Thomas with more.
Did you know if you're 59 and a half or older or recently furloughed, you can now roll over your 401k tax-free and protect your nest egg from any future losses? With all the recent market volatility, you know how to participate in the market gains without ever losing a penny. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, you don't want to miss the special event. We're taking all precautions and following the CDC guidelines to keep everyone safe and healthy. We also have the biggest room to keep our social distancing. I look forward to seeing you on Thursday, the 25th at 6:30 p.m.
Protect your retirement nest egg and join the official St. Louis financial advisor of my show, Thomas Helbig, along with myself, Mark Cox, and Dave Glover at the Frontenac Hilton on June 25th. That's Thursday at 6:30 p.m. Call 855-755-1555 or online at retirementkey.com.
Lift, move, level, tier, foundation replacement, EHM is here.
For your home, it all starts with a strong foundation. EHM adds value and livable space to your home. Whether it's turning your crawl space into a basement, elevating your home after a flood, or fixing bowed and cracked walls in an older foundation, call 314-384-4210. EHM can put a brand new engineered basement under your existing home. So stop throwing money at patches for your foundation problems. Total foundation replacement can cost the same or even less than a quick fix repair. No more water, no more cracks. EHM, serving the Midwest since 1994 with 3 generations of experience. Visit ehmmidwest.com or call 314-384-4210.
Lift, move, level, tier, foundation replacement, EHM is here.
Imagine 2 identical homes on the same street that sold in the same week for $400,000. One seller used a realtor who charged 7%. The other listed with Straight Realty for only 4%, saving $12,000. Hi, my name is Christina Straight with Straight Realty. Don't be fooled by high commissions. Why pay more than 4? 314-441-4444. 314-441 all fours.
Straight Realty is a licensed broker in the state of Missouri.
Hey guys, Glover here from my friends at ARCA, Assisted Recovery Centers of America. So alcohol and opioid addiction is a huge problem in America, as you know. And with the coronavirus, it's become even worse. Just know that there is help right here in our community. Call ARCA at 314-645-6840 or visit arcamidwest.com. Everything is professional. Everything is compassionate and everything is private. That's arcamidwest.com for help.
The Dave Glover Show.
I don't agree with everything you say, but I absolutely believe you're being honest when you say it.
Afternoons from 3 to 7.
That's the reason why I think so many of us listen to you every day.
Common sense in the Midwest.
On 97.1 FM Talk.
I have said to the protesters on a number of occasions, you should be wearing masks. And by the way, I said to the police, you should be wearing masks, even on a symbolic level. You want people to enforce, you want to other people to comply with the law. You're going to enforce the law. Adhere to the law. Wear a mask. Police officer and protester.
Even on a symbolic level, what is that supposed to mean? What is the symbolism of wearing a mask? Because if anybody is wearing a mask because we're being told it's going to protect ourselves or other people from coronavirus, what symbolism is there in wearing a mask? Unless you spoke too soon and you understand that the symbolism is a political statement, which is what a lot of people think that wearing masks actually is that it is purposely being pushed out there as a way to remind people that this exists and to keep people scared. I personally am not, like many other things, we're all told that politically we're supposed to be pro-mask or anti-mask. Like you don't get to be somewhere in between. I think that if wearing a mask causes people around you to feel comfortable, I don't mind wearing a mask to keep people around me comfortable. When I was in Florida last week, I didn't wear a mask ever because nobody, or I'll say like less than 10% of the people were. And I assumed that the people who were wearing masks probably had an exposure or some circumstance, because we went to Walgreens a couple times. If you're in Walgreens and you're wearing a mask, maybe you're there because you don't feel great and you've been coughing or something and you are making that choice for yourself. Is mask wearing symbolism now?
I would think so.
What does it mean to?
Is it scientific?
Yeah, to symbolically walk around with your hand in front of your face so that you're saying, well, I don't believe in masks, but I do believe in the symbolism of masks.
I think it's exactly what you just said, Annie. It's a lot of people coming to terms that maybe there was an overreaction, and to make themselves feel better or possibly more credible, they say, wear a mask. They're going to keep telling everyone to wear a mask. Now, I went to a float trip this weekend, and I did see 2 people on the river wearing masks, and they were still floating and having a great time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you do you. That's awesome. The rest of us, the 150 other people on the river, were not wearing masks. But I definitely think it's come to a time and come to terms right now for Andrew Cuomo, especially, that he's like, yikes.
The idea of wearing a mask ever should have to be a personal decision, in my opinion, that you should be able to be provided with the information that is out there of how does a mask protect you? How does a mask protect other people? If you had coronavirus and you're still contagious, first of all, I would hope that you would just stay home. But if you are somebody who has potentially, maybe you aren't infected yet, but you are living with somebody who is or something, if you wear a mask and that stops, if you were to cough or to be speaking, I mean, I speak for a living, and I remember being in the studio and thinking like that microphone that was in front of my face, like when you're talking, especially if you're projecting the way sometimes if we are laughing a lot or if things are getting really emotional or passionate on the air, you'll spit. Like you spit normally when you talk. And I'm up on this microphone and, spitting all over it so that Dave Glover can come and use the same microphone. That's awful. Ick. Gross. So we would wipe it down like a lot to make sure that we would keep our space. But that was the right thing to do. Mm-hmm. It was courteous to do. We were asked to do it, but I did it because it was the right thing to do. You'd wipe everything down and then you'd wipe everything down again right before you left. But the suggestion there by Andrew Cuomo that somehow or another wearing masks is a form of symbolism, I think is potentially a tell, like an early tell on Cuomo's part, that the visual of seeing mask wearing reminds you that this virus is in existence, and it probably causes you to change your behavior. If you go out and about and it's certainly the absence of masks. I'll say it this way: the absence of masks in Florida, and each state, if we would stop in each state on the way down, we go to, let's see, Kentucky, Tennessee, Georgia, Florida, each state we would like pull into the gas station to get gas or to use the restroom or maybe to stop at a restaurant to get a quick bite to eat. And we would just like sit in the car and look around like, what do people do here? What are people doing in Tennessee? Can we just walk in? And it's different everywhere. Cuomo wants people in New York to wear masks for some particular reason, but he includes symbolism there. And I think that that's kind of a tell.
Yeah, I think we're past the point where legally and constitutionally the government should be telling us basically to do anything. They can give us guidelines, but we're to the point now where it needs to be. And I'm fine with this. I'm fine with stores saying, look, if you want to shop here, you have to wear a mask. Private businesses, private residences, whatever. If you want to set up rules for your place, that's fine. I would like to see the government start to step out and let private businesses and entities take control from here on out.
Are either of you, Ryan, are you going out and about? I know, I mean,
Not
we've
much.
talked about here how you have cystic fibrosis,
Yeah.
and that is a very high risk condition to have with coronavirus, because that's a lung thing. Your CF is a lung thing and coronavirus is a lung thing. So somebody asked why we are still set up in our own individual locations. Ryan coming back into the studio, he's at a much higher risk to be out and about. And so we're taking all the necessary precautions to be able to keep you safe and healthy. But here in the middle of June, are you behaving any differently than you did in the middle of April?
Surprisingly, no. I mean, the big question we're having to face now is that churches are starting to reopen. That includes ours. Now they're doing it at a reduced capacity, and you have to almost like make reservations to go. But we're not even to the place where we're talking about going yet. My family, I've kind of encouraged them, if you want to start considering that stuff, maybe you can without me. But they're like, well, why would we go and then bring it back if we have it to you?
I was going to ask you about like I said, if you see somebody who's wearing a mask, maybe they're with somebody who has it, or protecting somebody at home who is susceptible. Is that the case then for your whole family, that it's been pretty locked down for the Wiggins family?
Kinda. And we're in a good situation with the kids being home for summer. My wife's a teacher. She's home for summer. So we don't really have to address it until August-ish. And then we probably will kind of reassess toward the end of summer what we're going to do.
Wow. What's your reaction, Katie, to seeing these protests and seeing how many people are together, and like even the suggestion of social distancing is ridiculous. A lot of them are wearing masks. Some of them maybe wearing masks to protect their health. Others may be wearing masks for other purposes, especially when you consider the later these protests go into the night and they turn into something outside of a protest. But what does it say to you that we have been on lockdown as a country for so long, and we are seeing, what was it New York City where they had that was it Black transgender rights rally or something like that?
All Black.
But I mean, this one was
or something.
Yeah, and this one was sea of people. It's every open spot in this entire like amphitheater. Like, I don't know that it was an amphitheater, but it was just massively packed to the brim full of people. And that's the one that they're putting up next to the Tulsa. Trump wants to have a rally, and how irresponsible of him. And NBC is saying that Trump needs to check himself before he does this to Tulsa. And in this, like within an hour, they had tweeted about that rally, and they're like, yay for this. It's just, I mean, it's hypocritical.
Oh my gosh. That is what is messing me up so much. And it's not even necessarily the people that are going to these protests or the people that decided to go to the Lake of the Ozarks. It is the celebrities that told us that have been saying and harping day in and day out from February all the way until when? April, May, stay inside. And if you leave your house, if you go to the grocery store, you're probably going to die if you don't wear a mask and you don't wash your hands, and make sure you're inside, and make sure, telling us all what to do constantly about coronavirus. And then these protests happen. And all of a sudden, every celebrity that just told us to stay inside for months on end and criticized people that didn't stay inside is now like, go out and protest. Go out there with the crowds and do you and represent America and whatever. Screw it. Just go ahead and do it. I'm like, okay. And now, like you just said, Annie, now they're mad because Trump is going to have a rally in Tulsa. Oh my gosh. Coronavirus doesn't pick political parties. Either you're mad that everyone is going out and about, or you're not. That's it.
Don't you think that the majority of Americans, the ones that aren't like up to their eyeballs in every news story that comes out, don't you think everybody sees the hypocrisy in that?
I hope so. I don't know. I don't know if they do and they just kind of shrug it off, or if they just are like, no, this is different because the cause is more important. My cause is more important than your cause. So
I don't think people care. I don't think that people are. I don't think people care, and I don't think people don't care. I think that they're interested in, like, the idea that everybody out here is obsessed with all of these stories and like just hanging on every word to find out what happens next. It's not the case. I think that people see, this, Katie, was it Black trans rights or something like that? I think it was.
I think so. Yeah.
So I think people see that and they go, okay, they're out there supporting their thing. Okay. And I think that most people will see the Trump rally supposed to be happening. I think that they will think more with the Trump rally, like, do they need to be doing that there? Okay, whatever. Trump's going to do what Trump's going to do. I don't think that they are so invested in this that they're looking at justifying one versus the other. Trump certainly is more polarizing than anything else in our country. Most everybody, I don't know anybody who has no opinion on Donald Trump.
Mm-hmm.
I have Democrat friends who have texted me when Donald Trump passed tax reform and said, hey, I'm going to get a bonus this year for the first time in my career. And people who are my age, I'm 36, people who are older millennials, like Ryan and myself, we came out of college into a recession. Jobs were not available. When they came back, they paid crap, and we've had to fight tooth and nail to get where we wanted to get. We bought our house in 2007, which was not the opportune time to be purchasing a house. But my husband and I bought a house that took us 3 months to even make livable because that's what we could afford at the time. So many people who are my age have been, pushed back down over and over again. This is our second recession and we're in our mid-30s. That's ridiculous. I just think that we have all of these things going on in our life right now where we're aware of what's taking place. When we get a tax benefit, we know that it's coming from Republicans and not Democrats. Joe Biden has said that he wants to raise taxes, and that's what his intention is to do. And he will do that if he gets the opportunity. And so people like that are like, I hate Donald Trump. I think he's a jerk, but I did get this. So the question to me is, are the Democrats going to put up an alternative that makes people vote against their own interest because they know what's in their best interest? And I think the more that they realize that the policies of the Republican Party headed by Donald Trump benefit them, the more frustrated they get that Donald Trump can be such a jerk sometimes, because it makes it hard to support him. And when you look at the alternative, you still know what's best for you. And like I said, that's kind of the elder millennial and up, Gen X and boomers can see what policy does. And it's a little more brain and a little, probably a little less heart in what you actually check at the ballot box. So much of what's shoved in our face is just supposed to tug at the heartstrings. Mm-hmm. And I don't think Americans are just sitting around waiting for the next tug.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the majority. Certainly some, but not the majority.
It's funny that you mentioned tax reform at all. I mean, that was an issue that we thought, well, that's going to be a big campaign issue. Nobody's even thinking about that at the moment. We're all thinking about defund the police and things right now. Who knows what we're going to be thinking about in 2 or 3 months,
I'm pretty sure we will be thinking about tax reform because Joe Biden keeps saying he's going to raise taxes, which I would assume is also tax reform, just not in a way that is going to benefit you. Let's take a quick break. Tony Colombo is going to join us when we come back and hit us with some signs of the apocalypse. Haven't talked to Tony in a while, so we'll get him in the studio. If you want to join us, we're streaming live at facebook.com/Annie Frey Show. And also you can see us streaming on YouTube. You go to Annie Frey, Frey, on YouTube and subscribe there, and you can watch us and chat along with us there as well. Let's take a quick break. Back with Tony Colombo in a minute.
Got herself a universe gone quickly for the call of thunder.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Studio. Air Comfort Service is proud to support Greater St. Louis Honor Flight. Sign your veteran up for the Honor Flight today at gslhonorflight.org. And for free HVAC estimates, visit aircomfortservice.com.
You've been lied to by corrupt Washington politicians and the Wall Street propaganda machine. Hi, I'm Inc. magazine bestselling author Brett Kitchen, and I want to give you a free copy of my brand new book, Wealth Beyond Wall Street, because we all know another market crash could be right around the corner. After losing 35% in my IRA in the crash years ago, I said enough. And since then, I discovered a way to grow money potentially double digits, reduce taxes dramatically, and also have my money protected when the next stock market crash hits. When the next market crash hits, you lose nothing. Call Wealth Beyond Wall Street now to get your free copy and talk with a specialist to discover this little-known strategy to get potential double-digit growth during good years and never lose when the next stock market crash hits, all while building a tax-advantaged retirement. Call 1-800-582-1717 to discover this asset that people like Walt Disney and JCPenney use to grow wealthy. Plus, when you call right now, you'll get the free audiobook, and we'll even cover shipping and handling. No credit card required. Call 1-800-582-1717, 1-800-582-1717. That's 1-800-582-1717.
With spending more time at home, you may be noticing the scuffs and faded colors on your walls, the cracked, peeling paint on the outside of your home. Protect your home investment with quality painting from your local CertaPro painters. Each CertaPro painter's business is independently owned and operated by men and women who live in our community. They are ready to help you and are taking precautions recommended by public health officials. Get a remote or on-site estimate from them today. Start your free estimate at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. Proven and trusted experts in painting.
Need a break from the sound bites and the talking heads? Do you want information you can actually use? Information that'll change your life for the better? Then listen to the Del Walmsley Radio Show. Del will show you how to retire in 2 to 5 years. Your age doesn't matter. Turn off the pundits and turn on the passive income. Tune in to the Del Walmsley Radio Show.
Tune in to the Del Walmsley Show, where the hype ends and the help begins. Weeknights at 7 on 97.1 FM Talk.
Have you ever wanted to learn a new language like French, Spanish, or Russian, but thought it would be too difficult and time-consuming? Then go to Babbel.com and try it for free. Babbel works because it's built around real life. It teaches you everyday practical conversations that you will actually use. In 15 minutes a day, you'll be on your way to speaking a new language in just a few weeks. Babbel uses a modern conversation-based technique that makes language engaging, fun, and memorable. It starts by teaching you words and phrases. Then, sentences gradually get more complex. Soon, you're practicing short conversations about real-life topics. Babbel is created by language experts who use the spaced repetition method to help you learn quickly and remember what you learned. With Babbel, you can speak a new language. Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel free. Just go to Babbel.com or download the Babbel app and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Hey guys, Glover here for my friends at Zero Res. First of all, a big thank you to all the people from the DGS that reached out to Zero Res during the first couple of months of the COVID pandemic. People were in a panic to get their homes and offices as clean as possible. They wanted to take advantage of our patented powered water system. They did. We did our job great. Right now, we're sort of in limbo. We're opening back up. We're getting back into life, but we're still very concerned with being clean. Right now, they're offering 3 big rooms at just $119. Also, this month only, they will give you a free dryer vent cleaning when you get your air ducts cleaned by Zero Res. That's a $75 value. So again, thank you for trusting us over the past couple of months. Thank you in advance for trusting us for the next couple of months. 314-474-2020 or ZeroResSTL.com. Ask for the DGS special by name.
The Mark Cox Morning Show.
Todd Pyro. It's almost like you're dealing with a child. When you demonstrate some sort of weakness, they see there's an opportunity and they push for more. When people apologize for seemingly innocuous things, the cancel culture goes after more.
Weekday mornings 5 to 9.
Well, in the latest revisionist history, Senator Tim Kaine, who came shockingly close to being the vice president of the United States, he might not also realize that they lost that election. Senator Tim Kaine said the United States didn't inherit slavery from anybody. We created it. Ooh.
Yeah, we made that.
Remember Exodus? I just what a dumb thing to say. So yeah, this revisionist history is in full effect, and Senator Tim Kaine, who every time I see him, I can't decide if he's smiling at me or his face is he's got this thing that he looks like he's going to tell you a joke, but he doesn't want everybody in the room to know it.
That's so accurate.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I know exactly what you're saying.
And
That's right.
I don't want to know the joke.
I always want to see where his hands are. Like if he's got his hands in his pockets, I'm like, don't come any closer, buddy.
Why?
Hi.
What's he got in
Probably
there?
got a knife in there.
I was thinking like raisins or unwrapped hard candy or something.
Well, that too. Either way, I'm running.
Hi, Tony. How are you?
Hey guys, how's everyone?
Oh, great.
When I think
Great.
of Tim Kaine, I think of he was one of the candidates, and this has become a more and more popular move during debates and press conferences that will speak a different language. Like answer the question
Yes.
because Tim Kaine can speak Spanish.
Yeah.
And so the whole pander, hey, I'm going to answer this question in Spanish too. And that means all the people that speak Spanish are going to vote for me.
Do you remember when Cory
hate it.
Booker said, "Let me answer that question in Spanish," and then he said no? To make fun of that was a really good line. It's like my favorite thing Cory Booker's ever done.
I just think that's like pandering
Totally.
at the ultimate level. And I whether it's done, doesn't matter what side does it. I just don't like it.
Speaking of signs of the apocalypse.
Now, signs of the apocalypse on the Annie Frey Show.
Getting smoother.
Working on it.
Yeah.
Oh,
All right, I got a few. We'll start with a few rapid fire ones here. People have been eating more cereal during the pandemic.
Cereal's so good.
Specifically, sugary cereal. An industry report says because adults find the sugary cereals, quote, familiar, comforting foods that brought joy and pleasure. So apparently people are eating more and more sugary cereals because of nostalgia.
I look at sugary cereals as like less healthy and more bad for you than if I were to have a bowl of ice cream, because I think that I've eaten so much cereal in my lifetime. Like that's what got me through college was just bowls of cereal all the time for any meal that I've had to, in my previously unhealthy relationship with food, because I would not eat. And then, you get to the evening and you're hungry, so you eat whatever. I have sworn off sugary cereals just as a whole, but there's nothing like a good bowl of Lucky Charms. We've talked about that on the show a lot. Or Frosted Flakes are really good. Yeah, so I like pretend they don't even exist.
That's like top 5 favorite snacks. Cereal. Bowl of cereal.
I've eaten way more cereal without milk than with milk.
Dry cereal, yeah.
It's just like you said.
Great
I
snack.
eat it as a snack. And yeah, I mean, I like milk, but I like a snack.
You can do it.
70-year-old guy in Seattle who survived coronavirus after 62 days in the hospital. Right? This guy's
2 months.
This guy's a hero, right? I mean, this guy's a warrior.
This
70-year-old
gonna
man,
end poorly.
yeah, in Seattle, survived coronavirus after 62 days in the hospital. Just got his hospital bill, $1.1 million.
Oh no!
Is that like before insurance?
Yeah, was he uninsured?
He has insurance, so he won't be on the hook for all of it. But
Max
just
out
the
of pocket's got to come in there.
Just the
1.1.
fact that his bill is $1.1 million.
Well, have you ever
is
looked at the bill after
insane.
you have a baby? Because like you'll take a
3 different
pain,
times.
Yeah, you'll take a pain pill, and it's like $8 per pain pill. It's just like college. We always talk about how to pay for it. We never talk about why it costs so freaking much. Which is one of the things this president and his administration has said: transparency in billing and making sure that we know what things are costing. Because when it's outrageous, and I'm not saying that bill for 2 months in the hospital, if you're on, potentially your deathbed, shouldn't cost some money.
Last time I got a concussion playing
$8 for a Tylenol.
Last time I got a concussion playing softball and went to the hospital. I was there for
How many times have you had a concussion playing softball?
Just the last time. This is the last one.
Tony used to play
only
football.
one playing softball. I think I've had 3 concussions, but I've only had 1 diagnosed. But anyway, that's not the story. The story is that when I went to the
Let's
hospital,
talk about your health history.
my one and only time ever that I went to the emergency room because I was having some issues after I got hit in the head.
Let's talk about those.
I was there for maybe an hour and a half. They did a little scan on me and they gave me a Tylenol. And a month later or whatever, when the bill came, it was $975.
I was gonna say $1,000. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I told my wife, we're never doing that again.
We're never going to the hospital ever again.
Never. Where are we at here? This is actually not a sign of the apocalypse, but something I noticed, and now here's my confirmation that it's really happening. The latest products to sell out during the pandemic are bicycles. With so many outdoor activities closed, apparently everyone wants to start biking.
Yeah.
I was noticing that Target, all the stores that have bicycles, they're all gone. The racks are empty.
Apparently, at some point, we bought our two big kids bikes for Christmas 2 years ago, and apparently one got backed over, and I didn't realize that, and so the wheel was kind of bent. So when my son was riding, it was wiggling, and we went to go get it fixed. It was going to cost us like $70 to get this new wheel put on. Well, I paid like $100. It's a bike from Walmart.
Mm-hmm.
And we went to go get him a new bike. There were no bikes. I couldn't believe it.
I know.
And there still aren't any.
People are getting fit up in here.
I guess.
Just because you buy a bike doesn't mean you ride it.
Yeah, maybe
No
you don't.
kidding.
But then why buy it?
All right. This is
You had a good idea.
This is an
And some time on your
actual
hands.
this is an actual sign of the apocalypse.
Mm.
Literal sign of the apocalypse. Remember back in 2012 when everyone said that the Mayan calendar was expiring and that it was the end of the world? Well,
Was it?
No, it didn't. The world's
Kind of feels like it was.
world's still. A scientist in Knoxville, Tennessee, redid the calculations from the Mayan calendar and says that we did the math wrong in 2012, and that the real date that the Mayan calendar predicts the apocalypse is this coming Sunday. So 5 days from now.
I'm looking at who we have booked next week.
Right?
Usually I'm pretty skeptical on these things.
Yeah.
But,
Katie,
Buy it. It's 2020.
Don't waste your time booking guests for next week.
I won't.
Nobody
I won't.
nobody spend a bunch of money on groceries.
Buy whatever you
Just
want.
get what you need to get through the weekend, because according to this guy, this scientist in Knoxville, Tennessee, that we did the calculations wrong, we did the math wrong, and that the Mayan calendar says that the apocalypse is happening this Sunday.
I hope they get fired.
If the apocalypse happens, would we even notice it in these conditions?
No, he'd keep his job, but the rest of us would be screwed.
I can't tell you how many times in the 20 plus years on the radio that I've covered a scientist that's
That thing.
predicted the end of the world or predicted some huge, terrible thing. Let's see. We don't have much time left. I'm going to find a short one. Okay. Here's a hack from Domino's for reheating pizza in the microwave without making it soggy. I don't know if this is a sign of the apocalypse or just something that's a great idea. If you reheat pizza in the microwave, a lot of people don't like it because it is soggy. So Domino's has sent out a hack that says that when you reheat your pizza in the microwave so it doesn't become soggy, you put a glass of water in the microwave next to the pizza. Domino's says, this is Domino's in Australia that tweeted this out. The water helps the base of the pizza stay crispy and lets the cheese melt.
That
so
seems like it would
next
be
time
opposite.
you are reheating your Domino's pizza or any pizza and you want to make sure that the crust stays crisp and does not become soggy.
Real quick, who likes soft cookies? Who likes crunchy cookies?
Soft.
Chewy.
Crunch.
Soft.
Chewy.
Yeah,
Crunchy.
Katie says Jif too, so get her out of here.
I like the crunchy.
If you
It
like
is
soft,
Jif.
it's shush.
Hey.
We don't have time
No,
for
no, no.
your thoughts on these things.
What
If
the guy
you
who invented it
bake
calls it.
cookies, this is a hack. If you bake cookies and you like to keep them soft, you put them in a Tupperware and you put like 3 or 4 pieces of bread in there, and the moisture will come out of the bread into the cookies, and they will be soft and chewy.
I've
And
been
delicious.